Good morning, Raptor freaks. Lexiot's here, and it's Monday morning, and Raptors are playing the New Orleans Pelicans tonight at Scotiabank Arena. Also, we've got to react to a great Raptors 905 victory in Laval yesterday against the Long Island Nets in a very competitive game, very entertaining game, very down to the wire kind of game. And the Raptors 905 just barely did not make enough mistakes to lose. That's kind of how it went, seriously. So yeah, let's get right into it. Previewing for tonight and reviewing yesterday, and also all the other stuff we do, like the classic card and the Instagram stories. All right, let's get right into it. We'll start off with the latest lineup news for the Raptors and the Pelicans, who is the game tonight at Scotiabank. The Raptors announcing yesterday that Kelly Olynyk is still questionable due to his calf injury. Manuel quickly will be ruled out today for sure. Baji is questionable. So there's been progress with Oshai Baji. So he may be closer to be coming back. Darko described Kelly Olynyk as day-to-day yesterday at practice. So he's saying that Kelly is closer to being back than you think. It's just a day-to-day. And then Jakob Poeltl added to the injury list also due to a back injury. He's questionable for today's game. So it looks like Poeltl may not be playing tonight. This may be very good news for Orlando Robinson as far as him being able to start and play. It is the last day of Orlando Robinson's 10-day contract apparently today. So if he gets to start and play for the Raptors tonight, there's very good likely chance that he's going to probably get a second 10-day contract tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So yeah, Blake Murphy on Blue Skies reporting that the 905ers are up with the team also. So they're available. Jonathan Mobo, Jamison Battle, Shamshay, Lawson. Those guys are all available to be in Raptors uniforms tonight if they are chosen to be in them. Doesn't mean that they will be. Could very well be they're trying to save the the two-way games for Jamison Battle right now. And they may not want to play him. All right, let's go look at New Orleans. New Orleans was a lot more beat up the last time we saw them when we beat them for our first road win in New Orleans earlier this season. So we want to sweep out the Pelicans tonight in a season series, 2-0. And, well, let's see what we can do. First of all, they signed Keon Brooks to a two-way last Thursday to add more people to their team. DeJounte Murray is questionable tonight. Is his finger / elbow. That's a weird one. He has a finger / elbow injury. I've never heard that. But, yeah, DeJounte is questionable. Brandon Ingram is out. He is not playing right now. And Herbert Jones is out also with a torn labrum. So those are two very important key players for them. Recently, the Pelicans have kind of had some success because Zion Williamson came back, and they've been fairly healthy in recent games. A big key player for them in games recently has been C.J. McCollum. If C.J. McCollum's doing well for the Pelicans, they seem to win. So, yeah, since we beat them, which was a while back, they've lost quite a bit. They went on a crazy losing streak for a while, but then got healthy in New Year's. And since the new year, they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 7-6 since New Year's. They're currently on a 2-game losing streak right now, but before that, they had a 4-game winning streak. So they're different. They're not as bad as they were when we saw them and we beat them in New Orleans. They are going to be a bigger challenge tonight. Now, the good thing is we have home court, and hopefully, because we're rolling and we're playing very well as a team, we can overcome the additions of Zion Williamson coming back. You know, who are the Pelicans? Let's go look at their roster real quick. Their depth chart. They'll probably be starting tonight. Maybe Jose Alvarado, C.J. McCollum, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missy. So, yeah, Trey Murphy, I guess, Wait, isn't he on the injury list? No, that's I get those two guys mixed up. It's Herb who's on the injury list. So Trey Murphy's available. So he's pretty good, actually. Off the bench, they've also got Jordan Hawkins, Javonte Green, Daniel Tice, Brandon Boston, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Carlo Matkovic, Jamal Kane. Yeah, that's their bench right now. Keon Brooks Jr. From the two-way. So, yeah, we'll have to see. They do have like Zion and Trey Murphy that they'll have this time that they didn't have last time. Of course, their great rookie East Missy from Baylor, who played with Jacoby Walter in university. So that's always a fun matchup, seeing the rookie matchup between Baylor rookies in there. All right, let's do the refs. The refs for tonight are not the best. Let's just put it that way. But who knows? I could see us getting a fair game from them, but I'm not. I don't know. We'll see. All right, the crew chief is Tony Brothers, guys. We're gonna get Tony Brothers again tonight. We haven't had him that much this year. This will be, I think, like his 4th game with us this year. Let's see, where is he on the sheet? Yeah, this will be our 4th game with him. We've won 1 out of 3 so far, so we did win a game with him earlier this season. He's from Norfolk, Virginia, 31st season. Tony Brothers, 60 years old, number 25. His favorite TV show is 24 with Kiefer Sutherland. He likes the movie Claudine. He gets down to Earth, Wind, and Fire. He reads the Bible. He likes to eat fried croakers. His favorite app is Spotify, and his hidden talent is cooking. Tony Brothers has officiated 1,750 regular season NBA games in 30 seasons. He has also refereed 201 playoff games, including 17 finals games. His assignments have also included the 2008 NBA China Games and the NBA All-Star Game in 2009 in Phoenix and 2024 in Indianapolis. So, yeah, Tony Brothers is a senior ref that's been around for a long, long time. As I said, we won 1 out of 3 games with him this season so far. We win 45% of our games historically with Tony Brothers in the 30 years of being in the NBA. Meanwhile, the Pelicans win 48% of their games. So 45-48 for the Pelicans. Tony Brothers, the crew chief, is favoring New Orleans tonight. The second ref is Nick Bookert, number 3 out of Orlando, Florida, 15th season. His favorite TV show, Walking Dead and Game of Thrones. He likes the movie Gladiator. His favorite musician is David Gray. He likes to read the book October Sky. His favorite meal is steak. His favorite app is Bands in Town. He most likes to visit Rome, and his bucket list is to attend the Super Bowl. We just had Nick Bookert like last week, so this will be the second game with him like pretty recently. Nick Bookert has officiated 808 regular season games and 13 playoff games in 14 seasons as an NBA staff official. He also refereed the Rising Stars competition during NBA All-Star 2014 in New Orleans. Yeah, record with Nick Bookert is not good this year so far. We've lost all 3 games that Nick Bookert has refereed recently. So I think he refereed the Milwaukee game recently. That's the game he refereed for us recently, was the game in Milwaukee. We have the best winning percentage with Nick Bookert out of the 3 refs today. 58% winning percentage for Nick Bookert when he's around with the Raptors. Meanwhile, the Pelicans win 53% of their games. So 58-53 is the split for the Raptors. Nick Bookert, second referee. The third ref is Fantasy Ransom, number 70 out of Atlanta, Georgia, in his 7th season. He likes the show 60 Minutes. He likes the movie Enter the Dragon. His favorite musician is The Foreign Exchange. His favorite book is The Tao of Abundance. His favorite meal is hibachi chicken and shrimp. His favorite app is Shazam. He'd most like to visit Cairo, Egypt. His bucket list is to learn how to play the piano, and his hidden talent is public speaking. Fantasy Ransom has officiated 247 regular season games in 6 seasons as an NBA staff official. Yeah, Fantasy is technically just about the same as Tony Brothers with the win percentage for the Raptors. We've only had him once this year. We lost that game. We win 46% of our games with Fantasy Ransom. but it's better than the Pelicans. They only win 35% of their games. So 45-35, the split for the Raptors with the third ref, Fantasy Ransom. Now, Tony Brothers and Fantasy Ransom, I don't totally trust as referees. Tony Brothers is a kind of ref that will reward the team that works the hardest. So, in some ways, I like him for that. But yeah, Ransom and Brothers do not have good records with the Raptors for winning. So, we'll have to see what happens tonight. Hopefully, the Raptors can win their fourth game in a row and sweep the season series with the New Orleans Pelicans tonight here at Scotiabank Arena. So, yeah, it's a kind of ref crew. It's kind of It's not like a really appealing one, like a really nice one like we've had in recent games. It's one that's a little suspect. We'll have to see. Nick Booker was pretty good in Milwaukee, but he's we didn't win that game. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. All right, let me check in with the chat and you guys and see what you're saying this morning on a Monday morning. Garfield, I hate Mondays. I do. Yeah, in some ways. Garfield, go get some lasagna Monday morning. That's right. Trevor J saying, never give up, never lose hope. Always have faith. It allows you to cope. Trying times will pass as they always do. Just have patience. Your dreams will come true. So put on a smile. You'll live through. Man, this man making me into Theodore Geisel. Dr. Seuss. What is this, man? You trying to make me hop on pop? It's like one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Okay, Trevor J. Thank you for the rhyming words of wisdom today. I like that. I like that a lot, man. Trevor's saying your pain knows it will pass and strength you will gain. How do you know how to say what this next? What do you say is the name? All right, let's see. Trevor's saying NBA top 5 scorers in transition. Siakam's number 1. That's pretty cool. So Pascal Siakam is ranked number 1 in the NBA for scoring in transition. That doesn't surprise me. He's always been a good transition scorer. That's for sure. Trevor J has given us a blockbuster trade from the WNBA yesterday. The WNBA blockbuster deal is the Aces have acquired Jewel Lloyd from the Seattle Storm in a trade that involved multiple teams and included Kelsey Plum being traded to the LA Sparks. Yeah, this is a pretty big deal. I mean, Jewel Lloyd is one of the top scorers in the WNBA, and her going to Las Vegas, well, that just makes that team better and better. They still got Aja Wilson, so they're putting Aja Wilson with Jewel Lloyd. Well, what are they trying to do? Make a dynasty in Las Vegas? That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, that's a big move. That's a very big move. Jewel Lloyd is somebody I've had on my fantasy WNBA team for a couple of years now. She is a scorer. She can score a lot. So very interesting. Yeah, we're going to be talking more WNBA news on this channel. The closer and closer we get to the tempo arriving in the league as Toronto's and Canada's first ever WNBA team. We're going to be all about it. Yeah, I'm about it. Monique is here. Superfan Monique has returned to the chat live this morning after being at the Coaches Open House yesterday. A fantastic event was had yesterday. Monique was hobnobbing with assistant coach Mary's Andrade at the Coaches Open House yesterday. A nice picture with her and Mo at the event. And yeah, it was a great practice, I'm sure. It sounded like Darko at the interview afterwards saying that they got a really good practice in yesterday and that they enjoy doing the Coaches Open House for everybody and teaching the young coaches. He said that there were about 800 or so people at the Coaches Open House yesterday, so a good number. Scotty saying it's really important to teach the future coaches. They're going to continue to teach the sport of basketball. So he saw the real importance of the Coaches Open House in his interview yesterday also afterwards. So yeah, good event as usual. I'm sure there were all kinds of interesting things said. In some ways, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. But Mo, anything you want to add about the Coaches Open House event yesterday, please feel free to share that information with us in the chat. That would be awesome. So Mo's saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew, and happy game day. Raptors Coaches Open House was amazing, as usual. Let's put the clamps on the Pelicans tonight. Definitely going through it this week on Cloud 9. Yeah, Mo's had Mo's feeling it. Listen, the cool thing is, Monique's been having a good year this whole year. She's been having a lot of great events, a lot of fun interactions, a lot of good times, being with the dance pack the other day at the GOAT night and being at Coach's Open House and getting special treatment there. there's all kinds of good stuff happening with Mo. The team has not had good stuff happening this whole year, but they're having good stuff happening right now. So, of course, Monique's going to be on cloud nine because the Raptors are winning, and she's living that charmed super fan life. So you keep going, Monique. I just love to see your exploits and all the fun things that you're out there doing. So awesome. So good. She's saying it may be the Pelicans tonight, but I'm back in the arena. Yak's out, huh? Let's go, Raptors. Yeah, I don't know if Yak's out for sure, but his back is giving him a problem, and he's questionable for today. Hopefully, maybe he does play after all. I would like that. I'm always way happier when Pirtle's in the lineup. Yeah, I wouldn't downplay the Pelicans. Seriously, I know the Pelicans are one of the worst teams in the league right now with their record. And, we need to beat them, but let's not get it twisted. This isn't the same Pelicans team we beat already this season. They're healthier and they're playing better. And we got to not take anybody lightly. If there's one thing that other teams are learning this year from us is don't take the Raptors lightly, even though their record's a certain way. And we do not want to make the same mistake towards the New Orleans Pelicans. Just because they're down doesn't mean they're out. And we need to handle them correctly and kick their ass tonight and get a 4-game winning streak. So, yeah, I'm not going to say even it may be the Pelicans. No, don't act like that. It's an NBA team, 1 out of the 30, and they do have good players on that team. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Freak crew. Do we want another dub today? Of course we do. Of course we do. Anybody who's not striving to get W's every single game right now, everybody who's kind of, I don't want them to win. I want to get Cooper Flag. You're idiots. And I don't care if Blake Murphy calls me tribalistic. I don't care. Stank Nation stupid. And he got mad at me for calling them stankies. Well, I'm not about it. And Cool Cat, that question is like a stanky question. Do we want another win tonight? Of course we do. Because we like to win as much as possible going out. It's the proper and just natural balance to the season that was stacked with all the hard games at the beginning. We get the easier games later. Well, we should be winning more now. In fact, I'd be more upset if we were not winning often right now because we need to show improvement and we need to show that we're progressing and rebuilding and developing our players. So, yes, of course we want to win tonight. Every single game for the rest of the year, we want to win, Cool Cat. I ain't going to stand for this kind of mentality. No, I'm not. Trevor's saying, wondering if Orlando gets more playing time because Yak's being out. I hope so. That makes sense. I mean, if you look at the center depth chart, Jakob's out, Kelly's out. Well, Orlando, you're the number one priority at center. If Mobo's available tonight, maybe he's the backup center, or maybe he's starting and Orlando's coming off the bench and being the backup center to Jonathan Mobo. That's what I could see happening. One of those things. And maybe even crazier, maybe Orlando Robinson starts and Ulrich Shamshe is the backup center tonight for the Raptors. We'll have to see. There's a couple of options there. In some ways, they could start using Shamshe as a backup center. He's ready on the NBA level to come out there and do spot duty and give it a little test of the waters and see how he can do there right now, because he has been doing a phenomenal job. In fact, he's one of the stars of the game for the game yesterday. Let's go look at that real quick. We'll look at the game from the 905 in Quebec, beating the Long Island Nets. It was a come-from-behind victory in some ways because the Nets had been beating them the whole game, but they made up for it in the last quarter and outscored them by 6 to overcome them and beat them by 4 points in the end. And some things really mattered. Some things like free throws ended up mattering, but the Raptors 905 only made half their free throws yesterday, which was really bad. There was a lot of ugliness in the game, and fortunately, the 905 were able to survive and win this one because it was very sloppy at times. The first star of the game for me was Eugene Omoruyi. He straight up stole this game from the Long Island Nets near the end of the game. In the last couple minutes, the Nets were coming across half court, and Canadian Draymond jacked the ball from them, stole it, and ran down the court and laid it up to put us up and over ahead of them. That was the dagger, basically. Was Eugene just decided that near the end of the game, I'm going to take this ball from this Long Island Net player, just going to take it right from him, and I'm going to dribble around him and go the other end and put the ball in the hoop and put the Raptors 905 up in a bigger margin. We could have hit some free throws late to really seal the deal, but we didn't. There were some missed free throws at the end. It was kind of stupid. Jamison Battle finally coming through and hitting some key free throws to get us the margin for victory. But they were threatening. And Long Island is dangerous because they can hit a three, tie the game, put it in overtime, or even take the lead before the game's over and win the game. So good job by Coach Andrew Jones' 905 to hold off the Long Island Nets in the fourth quarter yesterday in Quebec. And as the announcer said, that Canadian crowd turns on the 905 more and more as the game goes on, and they start rooting for Les Nets. And they were rooting for them to win. I think if there's something we learned from this series this weekend is that the natural rivalry between Montreal and Toronto is there for the NBA to take if they want. You put another team in there and the Raptors are going to come play them, they'll root against the Raptors. Trust me, they will. Eugene Omoruyi in 23 minutes, 24 points. That's badass. 10 of 14 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, very important steal, 4 turnovers. So, yeah, 24 points in 23 minutes. Eugene Omoruyi is my number one star of the game yesterday. He didn't play in the first game against Les Nets, and he was sorely missed, and we lost. Well, he played in the second game, and he showed up, and he helped us win. So you go on, Canadian Eugene Omoruyi. My second star of the game is Frank Kaminsky. Frank the Tank is the only tank I can support. I ain't taking no support for no tank except for Frank. That's right. I will support Frank. He's Frank the Tank, but I ain't supporting no other tanks. No other tanks. Frank was 7 of 9 in 20 minutes of action, 1 of 2 at the 3, 2 of 4 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 turnovers, 18 points for Frank Kaminsky. In some ways, this game, it's weird because he's going up against Drew Timme. And Drew Timme, we're throwing all these jokes about him, how he looks like a guy at a rec league at the Y, who's just some guy who kills you and torches you at a rec league game at the YMCA. He looks like an extra on Will Ferrell's basketball movie. He's a goofy guy, but he can score. And that was part of the battle in these games have been Frank Kaminsky versus Drew Timme. And they're both very different scorers. Like Timme kind of bumps people around and kind of lays that stuff in and hits threes. Frank Kaminsky hits threes, and he's kind of more graceful, swooping, kind of using his long arms to make layups around people near the basket. Well, they were both unstoppable to a degree for each of their teams, respectively. And in some ways, that was somebody that the 905 went to a lot to get scores from was Frank the Tank, the only tank I endorse. That's right. Yeah, good job by Frank the Tank as the second star of the game. The third star of the game was Jared Rhoden off the bench. Jared Rhoden was energy personified. He really provided a spark for the 905 at times when they were down against the Nets and started getting them to come back with some real competitive energy. 31 minutes for Jared, 6 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 17 points for Jared Rhoden in the game yesterday against the Nets. My fourth star is Shamshe. And Shamshe, he had an amazing game on the boards yesterday. Ulrich Shamshe, 24 minutes, 4 of 6 from the field, 5 offensive rebounds for 15 rebounds altogether. 15 rebounds for Shamshe yesterday in this game. 2 assists, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 8 points for Ulrich Shamshe in this game. But I love the 15 blocks. I just had to give him props for that. But he didn't get another 2 points or he would have had a double-double. So, yeah, 8 points, 15 rebounds for Shamshe. Only 1 block, which was interesting. The last star, the 5th star of the game for me yesterday is Jamison Battle. In the starting lineup, 23 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 2 of 2 at the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, 15 points for Jamison Battle. The last 2 games against the Nets, the 905 have been more successful at finding Jamison and getting him more shots to put up. In some ways, Jamison Battle is not going to score unless y'all set him up. So stop freezing him out and ignoring him, Kenny Chandler. Start passing it to Jamison almost every time down the court and let him get a lot of field goal attempts because he's the best shooter on your team. So you need to do that. Some honorable mentions. We'll give an honorable mention to Jonathan Mobo. Jonathan Mobo, 2 for 4 from the field. Missed his only 3-point attempt. 2 of 3 from the free throw line. 8 rebounds. 5 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 8 points for Jonathan. Evan Gilliard in the starting lineup, 21 minutes, 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 1 rebound, 5 assists, 1 steal, 0 turnovers. So 5-0 assist to turnover ratio is not bad, Evan. 4 points for him, though. Didn't score enough. AJ Lawson deserves an honorable mention also. 7 of 14 from the field in 29 minutes, 2 of 6 from the 3. Missed his only free throw, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 16 points for AJ Lawson. I have to say this, though. AJ Lawson is disintegrating and devolving as a player right now. He is not going in the right direction. I don't know what's going on with him. I've warned him the last couple of weeks to slow down and take this game a little bit slower, but he's not. And he's too chaotic. And in some ways, he's getting worse as a player right now. You're not getting better, AJ. So you need to rein it in and start focusing a little bit better. You're missing a lot of very easy layups. You're missing wide open threes. You're shooting way too much, and you're missing way too much. And in some ways, you need to rein it in and get a little bit more under control. I've been noticing this trend with you for the last 2 weeks, and I'm really, really worried that you are out of control and in some ways hurting the Raptors 905. So, AJ Lawson, get it together, man. I'm really, really not happy with the way you're playing lately. Quincy Guerriere, back home in Montreal, 13 minutes, 1 of 3 from the field, missed both his threes, 2 of 3 at the free throw line, 1 assist, 1 steal, 6 points. And Kenny Chandler, a small dose of him, 25 minutes, 3 of 9 from the field, 0 for 2 at 3, 0 for 3 at the free throw line. Absolute garbage at the free throw line. And those free throws were late, too, and they look so unprofessional and stupid. Him missing 2 free throws right in a row in crunch time. 5 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, 1 turnover. So a 10-1 assist to turnover ratio. At least him and Gilliard were doing good with that. 15-1 is their combined assist to turnover ratio. 6 points for Kennedy Chandler. Yeah, I don't understand why Tyreek Key does not get to play. In some ways, I wish he was playing way more in these games for 905. The team stats don't lie. The Raptors 905 shot better than the Nets, 55% to 50%. They made 3 more threes than us, and they did beat us in that category. Free throw line, we shot so bad at the free throw line, 50%, 12 of 24. We out-rebounded them +6, which was good. 29 assists for our team. Stocks 11 to 16 for them. They had a lot of steals. Turnovers are still a problem for the Raptors 905 against Long Island Nets because they got 21 turnovers still. And, Darko is really not happy that both the Raptors and the 905 have been getting around 20 turnovers a game. He really wants that to be as low as possible. And the closer they get to 20 or being around 20 is a big fail, even if they win. There's been games where the Raptors have won recently that they've had 20 turnovers, and he's not been happy about that. That's like a black eye that stares out at him, even in a successful win. So he's paying attention to those turnovers, and 905 did not pass, even though they won the game. +10 in the points in the paint and +11 on the fast break points for the Raptors 905. So good team effort, holding off the Nets and beating them in the end and taking care of the game. It wasn't always pretty, and they made a lot of mistakes. And if the Nets had capitalized on some of those mistakes, they would have won. But it's G League. Alas, there's G League chaos and unprofessionalism, and both teams are going to be making mistakes to a certain point. You just want to make the least amount of mistakes between the two teams. And the 905 were able to do that. So good job by the 905. There's your 905 review right there. Boom goes the dynamite. That's right. Let's see. Tristan Trey's here. What's up, Raps fam? I heard that you were at the coach's open house yesterday, Tristan. You came by and said hi to Superfan Mo. Awesome. Glad to hear that there were Raptor freaks at the coach's open house yesterday with Blackhawk and Superfan Mo and Tristan Trey in the house down there. Yeah, I love to see that. I know Tristan was at the last one, and we saw him at it when we were at the last coach's open house. We got the good picture with everybody there. Let's see. Carlos here. Morning, Lex and fellow freaks. Good morning to you, Kaloy. Good morning to Santino. And Tristan Trey saying, yes, cool cat. Winning is good for culture. Players and coaches agree. Scott said not being competitive earlier this season was picking up bad habits. Yeah, this is so important. Like, we want to be a good team. We want to win championships again. We want to be in the playoffs. We can't lose on purpose. We can't pull punches. People that are for that kind of mentality are losers, and I'm sick of it. Stank Nation is stank, and we ain't stanking. We are going to win more often now, and we need to be embracing that and not being half-assed or questioning of it. The Raptors fans that get upset about us winning in the days and weeks to come, they're losers, and they need to shut the fuck up, is what I'm going to say right now, because you are not rooting for your team correctly. You should be rooting for the team to get better and better all the time. And if you're rooting against them getting better right now, well, just stop watching them for a while, okay? Because us, the ones that are in the trenches with them, watching them, we want to watch them win. And if y'all can't stand watching them win in this season because you think they're supposed to be tanking for a Cooper flag, you're a loser, is what I'm going to say to you right now. So get with the program, Raptors fans. We're doing a rebuild, and we're starting to show signs of positive progress. Let's not stymie it by being idiots, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Winning is important to culture, and we need to show that we know how to win and practice it more and more. That is the important assignment right now. That's right. Mo's saying, good seeing you yesterday, Tristan. You too, Mo. I love that. I love that. I love the connections that are made partly through this channel. That, you know, positive Raptor fans that really, really love the Raptors are the ones who are here. And wow, now that we know who each other are, when we're out and about, we can say, hey, and you say, yeah, that's an RFF right there. And they are a diehard Raptor fan like Tristan Trey. So I love that. I love that so much that you guys hooked up and you saw each other. Yeah, Tristan saying, I got to shake hands with Pat Delaney and also saw Quick across the street in Maple Leaf Square after. And they said, hey, you saw Quickly? Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, Darko did confirm yesterday, and you guys had said this before, that Pat Delaney is the defensive coach for the Raptors. He said it in the interview after the coach's open house that Pat Delaney is the defensive coach and Jama is the offensive coach, and that these are their departments. So you guys thought that was true, and it is. Pat Delaney is the Raptors defensive coach, and he confirmed it yesterday. I know he said it before, but I'd forgotten it, and he just said it again yesterday. Of course, Darko sporting a brand new haircut before the coach's open house, looking fresh for the game, for the practice, even though they just got back on the red eye the night before from Atlanta. That he came in and he was ready for coach's open house. That's awesome, man. Tristan saying, thanks, Lex, for informing me about the event last year. Yeah, no problem, man. I hope you guys go all the time. I'd like to go, man. I kind of felt feelings of missing out for not going yesterday. And maybe I probably should have just gotten up like at 4 a.m. and went down to Scotiabank Arena yesterday. But I didn't. Alas, I didn't. And hopefully you guys had a lot of fun going. That's for sure. Yeah, Evelyn's here. Evelyn was at the one last year, of course. Evelyn gave a nice little gift to Coach Darko last year at the coach's open house. Evelyn, always good to see you. Good morning, Raptor Freak family. Good morning to you, Evelyn. I hope that you're having a good year so far in 2025. We miss you and we love you, Granny Evelyn. You are Granny Swag, and we love you so much. We love you so much. Tristan's getting a wave to Evelyn, and Monique saying got a few words in with Mary Andrade yesterday. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, apparently Mo asked Mary about tanking. Yeah, Mo straight up asked Mary Andrade, the assistant coach of the Toronto Raptors, yesterday, are we tanking on purpose? And she said, no, hell no. No, there's never been any tanking. We don't think about tanking on this team, is basically what Coach Andrade said to Monique yesterday. There's no tanking. Tanking isn't a word. Mo straight up asked her, and she said, no, we are not tanking. We're not trying to tank. We've never been trying to tank this whole season. We've come to the games earnestly and trying to win them, y'all, and we just haven't been good enough to win most of the games early in the season. I don't know why Raptors fans can't just accept that truth. Why do you have to think in your head that, oh, they're losing on purpose? They can't be this bad that they're losing. Like, no, they're this bad. They are this bad, and that's why they're losing. But they're not this bad right now, and they can win right now. So we need to encourage them to do that. And that's the difference right there. I mean, everybody who thinks that we're doing things subversively on the down low to lose on purpose, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. A lot of these games that happened earlier this season when we just barely lost, or the team came back and beat us, that's because they were veteran teams that knew how to play in the NBA and close out and win against less experienced teams like the Raptors have been this year. This is a logical, real explanation. We don't have to be conspiracy theorists about this, Tank Nation. No, we don't. Just say the Raptors have been hurt and not good enough to win most of their games this season. Don't make it, oh, no, they were tanking on purpose, Lex. They're taking on purpose. No, they weren't. They were just losing, man. So stop talking about tanking because it ain't happening. And Monique got it straight from the coach's mouth yesterday. The tanking ain't happening on this team. She straight up asked Coach Andrade. She said, no, we're not doing any tanking, Superfan Mo. We didn't do that to our fans. Tanking fans, stank nation. Stop being stankers. That's what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Evelyn's saying, missing all of you guys. I'm preparing for major surgery, my left knee, February the 5th. Well, we want to wish all the healing and best vibes towards Evelyn as she prepares for knee surgery in the beginning of February. Yeah, we will be thinking about you, thoughts and prayers, and just healing good vibes for you as you face the knee surgery that you have. I know that it's a cane and Brown is sometimes, and well, hopefully this will help her mobility and help her with anything she's dealing with right now. Evelyn, we love you, and I only want the best for you and the outcomes from this. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, Fiercey's here. Good to see MJ holding it down for us around the nation's capital over in Ottawa. Good morning, fam, and happy game day. Congrats, 905 on the dub yesterday. Very entertaining game. Yeah, it was good to see you in the chat for a second there, MJ. And yeah, busy game. There were like 800 people in the YouTube chat watching the Raptors 905 play the Lays Nets. It's really kind of disgusting. There's some people coming in there every game now for the 905 games, and they're just all about their betting. And they're worried about the spread, and they're degenerates. They're coming in and betting on G League games left and right, and they don't even know the players. They don't even care. They're just degenerate gamblers. They're going to bet on whatever's going on at that time, and they're coming in. And people in the chat are straight up telling them, you're a loser. Why are you betting on G League? What is wrong with you? You need help. This is what people are writing in there. This isn't even Raptors freaks. These are just Raptors fans in there. Listening to this one guy go on, oh, this game needs more scoring. I have to hit my line for total score. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, this is what's happening. I'm telling you, Adam Silver, you are opened up a can of worms that you are not even understanding how many social problems you're going to start with your dumbass embracing of sports betting with the NBA. It's really, really scary in some ways. I worry about the future. There's idiots in there gambling on the Raptors 905 against Les Nets in Laval, Quebec yesterday, and they don't know nothing about the Raptors or anything. They're just degenerates that just need something to gamble on. They're just coming, I don't know these teams. Who's good? You know, they're saying shit like that. They're coming in the chat. I'm like, man, if you don't know these teams, you don't know what you're doing, why are you putting money on this? Oh my gosh. It's crazy. G saying good luck to Evelyn. Sure, it will go very well. I hope so too. I really do. I'm sure it will too. Stargate saying we haven't seen Bill Kennedy this season at all. Yeah, I don't know if we've seen Bill Kennedy. I think we've seen him once. We've seen him once in the early part of the season. But yeah, we've barely seen him. But I'm not going to complain because we haven't seen him. We haven't seen Ed Malloy. We haven't seen Scott Foster, really. So we haven't seen, part of it is because we're a bad team in the league. You only get the really, really high level senior refs when you're a high level team that's playing a high stakes game. So referees like Ed Malloy, Bill Kennedy, Scott Foster are going to be refereeing the Celtics, the Knicks, the Lakers, those games. And because the Raptors are so far down the standings, we're going to get more secondary seniority referees. That's just the case. Although Tony Brothers is a top level ref for our crew chief tonight. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, we haven't seen Bill Kennedy hardly at all. You're exactly right, Stargate. Fiercely saying, wishing you a great post-surgery recovery, Evelyn. Yes, for sure. Let's see. What is we got Monique on the next comment. Let's see what she's saying. No. Jumped ahead. Let me make sure I get the right chat. Here we go. She's saying, yeah, Fiercey saw they won after the event, after I got him go 905. Yeah, I guess you got done around 1:30 with the coach's open house. And then the Raptors 905 game was at 3 p.m. yesterday. And hopefully you got to see part of that game, Monique, afterwards. It was a pretty good game. Very lively audience. And yeah, I think that the games in Laval this weekend have been a huge success. Both games sold out. And the crowd's very enthusiastic, and they had a good time. So we'll see. They have 4 more games they're playing in Quebec against other G League teams. It won't be the 905 playing them. And we'll see if they get just as well attended. And maybe they're going to start building a little bit of a fan base in that province for the Long Island Nets. I don't know. They're going to make them Brooklyn Nets fans? I don't know. It's weird, man. It's a little weird, man. Kaz is here. Good morning, Trucker Kaz in the chat this morning. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Free Crew. Glad 905 pulled out the win yesterday. Let's go out and get this W tonight. You know, January has been all about W's for the Raptors and the Raptors 905. I'm looking at my calendar just before I was going on the stream, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of W's on this calendar for this month already with both the Raptors and the Raptors 905. And January 2025 has been very good to the Raptors so far. You know, it may be an ugly month politically in the United States, but I have to remember this. The last time that idiot was president, we won the championship. So, hey, you know what? The trade-off may be the world is going to shit in the United States because of an oligarchy of billionaires, but at least the Raptors win in this weird-ass Trump world, and they are usually winning around this time. So I don't know if that's the trade-off. I guess I'll embrace the good, positive side of it, and that's the Raptors being a winning team and doing successful things. So yeah, Mo's saying got the 30th anniversary clipboard from yesterday, and Mom's obsessed. Really cool. Yeah, they give clipboards and whistles out at this event, and they had special 30th anniversary clipboards for yesterday. In some ways, I feel missed out on that. It's so good. I'm glad you got that, Mo. Seymour's saying a +9 today. It's been hot the last 2 weeks, Raptors. Let's stay hot like Calgary weather. That's good. That's nice. Y'all are a little warmer than we are here. Right around 0, and we are getting some melt right now. But there was quite a bit of snow that came down yesterday, specifically during my stream yesterday, and they really covered things up. I've got about 2 feet of snow out on the ground right now, like sitting on the ground. Like it's going to take a little while for it to melt. It's just I get lake effect snow from Simcoe, so Lake Simcoe is going to take some moisture and bring it over to my house and dump it in my yard. That's just how it works. I'm glad to hear that y'all are getting some nice temperatures out west. Seymour holding it down for us in the province of Alberta. That's right, BBQ. You got some BBQ weather. All right. Well, we got BB. We don't have Q. We have BBB. That's right. Barnes, Barrett, and Boucher. That's what we got right now. We got BBB. Let's see. Trevor's saying Darko's interview, he is so smart, and Scotty made it known that the guys love Coach. Yeah. I mean, this is interesting because, you know, this is something I've spelled out on this channel all season long, but to hear it said by the players and the coaches to the media when they ask stupid questions is the best. It's the best. Coach, one of the, I guess Aaron Rose or somebody like that comes up to Scotty in the interview yesterday and says, why are y'all so happy still and together after such a bad season? You know, something like that. Yes, like that. Why are you guys so together still, even though your season's so bad with your record? And Scotty says, well, because we're taking care of the things that are important, and that's staying together, and we're staying on task with understanding that we're trying to make progress in development and learning and getting better in a rebuild. And we understand the assignment because it's very clear, the communication every day with our coaching staff and us, what we're doing. And they're doing a phenomenal job of preparing us and keeping us on the same page. And he even said that Darko tells him his rotations beforehand. Like he knows who he's going to be playing with in the lineup because the coaches are so organized that they're letting all the players know what to expect as far as what the intended rotation is for that night for the game. So like yesterday, the coaches showed Scotty and the rest of the Raptors who's going to probably play tonight against the Pelicans. So there's no like worry. Like in some ways that's helped Davion. He said that it's very helpful to know where my status is for the next day so I know how to work out around this game. If they know I'm not going to play, I'm DMP, and they tell me ahead of time, I'm going to work out more around the game, put more shots up because I know I'm not going to be laboring in the game. And that's fantastic. The fact that our coaching staff does this is awesome. So communication is amazing. Darko and Scotty basically said, I love Darko. He cares about us. He worries about us. He cares about us, not as players, just as people, as human beings in life. And that's why we love him. That's a big, huge difference between him and Nick Nurse. I'm going to say that right now. That you want a difference between Nick Nurse and Darko Rajakovic. Well, that's it right there. This Scotty says that he loves his coach because he loves him. I'm telling you, and that's something that, you know, these reporters gonna ask dumb questions like, "Why are y'all winning? You should be losing for a high draft pick." Yeah, you dumbasses. The stankies that are in the press corps, you're the worst because you make stank culture more endorsed and bona fide because you're a person that writes articles or you're on TV and you talk about it like it's a real thing. It's not a real thing, Blake Murphy. Tanking has never been a real thing in a lot of ways. Now, sure, some people say, "Oh, the Spurs have tanked in the past and gotten Tim Duncan and gotten Victor Wembanyama." That's kind of bullshit, actually, because every time the Spurs got a high draft pick, it's because, well, the year that they got Tim Duncan was because David Robinson had a season-ending injury and could not play for the Spurs that whole entire year, and they naturally had a bad record that year. Well, David Robinson got healthy and came back the next year, and they drafted Tim Duncan. And you saw one of the biggest turnarounds in Spurs history for win-loss record from a year to a year. That's what people don't understand or remember. It's not like they hurt David Robinson on purpose to get Tim Duncan. David Robinson was out legitimately for a real injury that whole entire season, and that tanked out the Spurs naturally. And then they got the number 1 pick and got Tim Duncan. So it's like tanking is not a real thing. It's never been a real thing. It's something they made up in the mid 2010s. And then idiots kept thinking that it's a viable plan for a team to get better because of the Sixers and their stupid ass shit that they did. But they've proven that it's a failure and it doesn't work. So I don't understand why any good Raptors fan would be a stanky. As far as I'm for tanking, because tanking is this. Because you know what? It's never been proven to work, you dumbasses. It's never been proven to work. You can say the Spurs, but that's absolute bullshit. The Spurs just happen to be very lucky with having superstars out and being really bad and then getting those picks. And in some ways, Victor is not totally like this. But in some ways, I get it. Y'all think that they didn't try on purpose. I mean, Coach Pop did say don't foul to Jakob the last year he was there. He said, don't even try and come meet them in the lane. Just let them lay it up. Okay, maybe they did tank a little bit on purpose, but they were already really bad, the Spurs. I'm just saying, tank culture is stupid, man. Fiercely saying, Seattle where is better. Okay, when Sue Bird and Brianna Stewart were there, I guess it's a good move for Jewel. Not so sure for Plum. Anyhow, I disliked her since the comments and on having a WNBA team in Canada. Yeah, Kelsey Plum is somebody that I don't like either. They're very brash and kind of egotistical. And in some ways they talk a lot of trash and they're kind of jerk. Yeah, kind of a jerk. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably better for Jewel Lloyd because she'll have an easier time not having to carry a whole entire team like she did in Seattle because she'll have a championship kind of roster around her. So, I mean, if she wants to go chase rings and just kind of be on an easy team, that's kind of what she did. If she did Kevin Durant going from Oklahoma City to Golden State, it's kind of what Jewel Lloyd just did. I mean, I know it's a trade, it's not free agency, but still, that's the kind of move that looks like to me. I don't like consolidating power on the team on the in a league like that. Like I never liked building super teams like the Warriors were with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and them. I never liked that. I feel like that's lazy and that's symptomatic of current generations like laziness of not trying for themselves, like LeBron. And in some ways, that's why I don't like this move. I kind of don't respect Jewel Lloyd for this. I don't know if she totally had the choice, that she's just going where she's going. But in some ways, this is what it smacks of to me. I don't want the WNBA to be like a league that has 2 super teams in the Liberty and the Aces, and then everybody else sucks. So be careful there, WNBA leadership, and what you're allowing for like the accumulation of talent on just particular teams. And they're head and shoulders above the rest of the league. Yeah, that's not going to make the league very fun to watch overall. You could learn something from the NBA and its changes in recent years to allow for parity. This is what I'm going to say right now. Yeah, most saying talk to Mary about the season, no tanking, like I was talking about. Women in sports and how much I appreciate her. Injuries and keep winning. There you go. So that was a lot of discussion, the different subjects that Monique had with Coach Andrade yesterday. The tanking stuff's the stuff I'm really the most interested, but it's also very important. The emergence of women in sports with the PWHL and the WNBA in Toronto. Yeah, this is important stuff, and it's fantastic. And Darko having Coach Andrade on the staff is very, very important. Very, very important. In a world where the government down south is re-rolling back DEI hires and dumb stuff like that, well, In some ways, inclusion and equality in things is important, especially when there's forces out there trying to roll things back the other direction, is what I'm saying right now. All right, let's see. Kaz is saying, low key, I wouldn't mind if Yak is out for tonight. We can get a better look at Orlando. I think he's going to be out. It really does seem like that's the signal that Pirtle will not be available tonight. So that's probably likely going to happen. Seymour saying Plum is anti-Canadian. Yeah, she'll probably hear it later on when she comes to Toronto against the tempo. Well, think about that, Kelsey. You're going to be coming across the border, and we remember what you said, and we will remember, even though you said it a while ago. We will remember, even though the WNBA is not coming to Toronto until next summer. Yeah, we will remember this. Yeah. Kelsey, I'm not a fan. Yeah, people are like, yeah, well, yeah, it is what it is. Seymour saying we ain't playing capture the flag. No. I don't know. That's a child's game. You want to go to the park and play capture the flag with the children? Okay, we're grown adults. We don't need to do this. We're not childish stankies that think stanking is the right choice. I'm sorry. It's just not true. It's not the right choice. We're doing exactly what is right. This was my reply to Blake Murphy. I said, well, why can't we just trust in Bobby Masai that no matter what pick we pick in the draft, because the lottery is going to determine where we pick. It's not going to be where we win or lose. It's going to be a ping pong ball that's going to decide, and we have no control over that to a degree. Why can't we just blindly trust Masai and Bobby, who were 5 for 5 last year, and they're rookies coming in this season? They picked 5 guys to join our team, and all 5 of them are home runs at different places in the draft, undrafted, at the very end of the draft, in the middle of the second round, in the beginning of the second round, and in the first round. We hit on all 5 of our picks last year. Why the hell can't Raptors Nation just trust Bobby and Masai that whatever pick they're going to have this year, they're going to make the best available pick for our team? Why can't we do that? We got the 13th pick 2 years ago. We got Grady Dick. Look at what Grady Dick is at 13. We got Jacoby Walter at 19 last year. Look at Jacoby Walter at 19. Raptors fans, why can't y'all just trust Bobby and Masai, and we can finish wherever the hell we're going to finish naturally with trying to win, and they will get the best damn player that's available when we pick. That's what I say to general fans. I know the Raptors fans in here trust Bobby Masai and understand what I'm saying, but I'm asking general Raptors fans, why won't y'all trust Bobby and Masai that it doesn't matter if we're in the top 3 picks? It doesn't matter if we're in the top 5 picks. It doesn't matter if we're in the top 10 picks. It doesn't matter where we're picking. These guys are going to bring us somebody good. That's what I'm going to say. You're going to say, oh, but the talent's so good at the top. We need to get the absolute best talent at the top. Well, I ain't losing on purpose just to fucking try and get some of the best talent at the top. I'm sorry. That's not good priorities. And you can ask the Sixers organization how that works. You can ask them. That's what I'm going to say right there. So allow Darko to coach his team unhindered with no worries about whether he should be winning or not, because Stank Nation thinks he shouldn't be. Seriously, let that man coach that team to the best of his ability and let them play to the best of their ability, and let's see if they win or not. And it has nothing to do with draft picks or where we're going to draft. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. Most saying she agreed with me on no tanking, and she said, whoever we get, we get. That's right. That's exactly it right there. Whoever we get, we get. That's a coach from the Toronto Raptors staff talking to our super fan and saying, whoever we get, we get. And that's just how it is, and that's how it should be. You know, we'd be in worse shape if we were another team in the league and we had a horrible office. If we didn't have the front office that we have, I would be more worried about this, like Stank Nation. I would be more like, oh, no, we need to make sure we get the highest draft pick because our front office is inept and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But that's not the case. Our front office is very good. It's one of the top 3 front offices in the entire NBA right now. So that's what Raptors fans need to continue to remember, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah. Let's go. Cool Cat saying, I put that statement out there to promote engagement. Ha ha ha. We are on the easiest part of our record. Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait to win more. Seriously, I want a 4-game win streak tonight. I want a 5-game win streak against Washington in the next game. I want a streak. I want to climb out of here. If we have 13 wins right now and we have almost a half a season to play still, I want 13 more wins so we're at 26 and we get my goal that I stated at the beginning of the season. The one thing I wanted was improvement from last year. We won 25 games last year. So if we win 26 this year, I'll take a 1-game improvement. I'll take that. especially since last year, for the first half of the season, we had Anunoby, Siakam, and Schroeder on our team. That's what I'm saying. If we could somehow pull off another 13 wins before the end of this season with what we've got left in our schedule, I'll be super happy. A lot of people may be upset about that, winning 13 more wins this year, whining and crying and saying, why are we winning? Why are we winning? The stupid shit that they're going to say on social media. Why are we winning? Why are we winning? Don't get all butthurt because we're winning. Be happy and celebrate because your team won. How about that? That's the way I look at it right there. Boom goes a dynamite. Most saying Eric spoke, Pat, etc. Yeah, they had all the assistant coaches come out in little bits here and there. Jim Sand often says something at it. Eric Curry is going to come out there and talk about metrics. Mike Batiste, the bulldozer, Batiste. James Wade, a.k.a. Coco. Jama Mamalea. That's right. They're all out there. Pat Delaney, they're all talking. That's right. Nameless saying, was anybody at the coach's open house yesterday? I went this time. You were there too, Nameless? You didn't see Superfan Mo? She was there. She was there. Tristan Trey was there. Blackhawk was there. So we know we had at least 4 Raptor freaks in the house. Nameless, you went? Did you enjoy it? Wasn't it a great event? You got to see a Raptors practice in person with your own 2 eyes. That's fantastic, Paisano. I love that you went. You got down there. That's right. Salute to Nameless. Yeah, Mo was there. Nameless saying, it was fantastic. Jama and Darko are such good coaches. See, there you go. That's right. Anybody who doubts our coaches, go to the coaches' open house and go listen to them talk. Go listen to how they motivate. Go listen to how they teach. Go listen to how they coach and practice the team and watch them with your own damn 2 eyes and understand we got really good coaching staff. Nameless can go down there. It's like at times in the last year or so, Nameless has been like, I don't know about Darko in this way. I don't know about in this way. But more and more, he's come along. He's saying, man, I really do like this coach. I really do like this coach. And now he's gone down and seen him in person. He's like, man, this guy's a really good coach. This is what he's saying right now. That's right. I love that, man. Trevor's saying Urish is #1 in the G League in blocks. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. And Jamison Battle's #1 in 3-pointers, apparently. So we've got some leaders on our 905 team for G League stat categories. Shamshay leading the G League in blocks, and Jamison Battle leading the G League in 3-pointers. Yeah. I think 3-point percentage is what Jamison's leading in. Let's see. Nameless is piecing to Seymour. I love it. I want to hear more about the event from you, Monique, anybody else who went, Tristan. Tell me more little bits of anything. Like the first time I went, when Nick did it, Pascal was very playful, and they told the players not to interact with the coaches that are in the coach's open house, but Pascal couldn't help it. He was waving to the people and like smiling at them and interacting with us when he wasn't supposed to. If there's any kind of stories about like that, let me know. Any notes and tidbits from the coach's open house, fun stuff like that. That's right. G saying, nice, Nameless. And Mo, what made them so great to you? Would love to hear. There you go. We want elaboration. We want a little bit more meat on the bone of what you're saying here. Mo saying fundamentals, defensive sets, how Grady has improved as a player with Coach Evo. Both wins in Atlanta. Europe play has changed so much. John Wooden book, development, and switches. So this is the stuff they went over. I think these were the actual categories of what they stepped up and talked about. So somebody did a fundamentals thing first. I don't know which coach that was. Defensive sets. That obviously was Pat Delaney, who came out and went over defensive sets. And Coach Evo probably came out and talked about his work with Grady Dick the last 2 years as a shooting coach and trying to get him improved and better and better. They might have even had Grady out there using him as a prop because they did that last year. Grady came out and he was used by the coaches to show examples for the coaches in the coaches open house. So, yeah, lots of good categories there. The Europe play stuff is very interesting. As the trend of how basketball is going in Europe is very interesting. Yeah, sweet. And Tristan's laughing. Coquette saying the G League is no longer a development league. So many experienced NBA players are there extending their ball career. Interesting concept. Yeah, O'Shea Brissett, watching him play for the Nets this weekend is very eye-opening because you think about where he's been. You know, he had a very successful NBA career so far. He's a champion. He was on the Boston Celtics winning a championship with them last year, but he did not get a spot in the summer, and he fell out of the league. And for the first half of the season, Brissett's been sitting at home until he just got signed and showed up on the Long Island Nets in like a couple weeks ago. So he has not been playing professionally most of the season. He's just been kind of waiting for the phone to ring at home. Well, he went and said, you know what? I'm going to swallow my pride and I'm going to go play for a G League team just to try and get back into the league. It's that hard. It's just like that. They were speculating yesterday because Killian Hayes playing for the Long Island Nets, it looks like he should be maybe an NBA player. But, we were speculating, will he be back in the NBA? Like, there's certain issues with him that have kicked him out of the league and put him in this place at this point as a seventh pick in the draft. That, it's just like that. You can't mess up your opportunity in the big league, because if you get stuck in that G League area, yeah, you're playing professionally, you're not paid as much, and you're getting close, and you may be able to reach out and grab it and get one last hurrah, but the chances aren't likely. We can see all the cautionary tales like Justice Winslow last year and now O'Shea Brissett this year. It's really, really tough to stay competitive enough to play in the NBA level for a long period of time. It's just how it is. O'Shea's a great citizen. He's a great player. He's a good locker room guy, but he's not good enough to play on an NBA roster right now. And in some ways, that's what Mike said when he came into the chat. And Logical Raptors Fanatic in the 905 chat yesterday saying O'Shea is looking a little bit more washed up. It's just how it is, man. You got to really stay at a top level to stay in the NBA. Really, really do. Yeah. Nameless is saying what stood out for me the most is the pure love these players have for one another. How much they all care about each other is insane. Scotty and RJ are so damn comical. There you go. So you got to see the behind the scenes of these players coming out for practice and getting organized with the coaches. When I went to the open house in the past, Nameless, I was really, really impressed with how regimented it is. That it's very much militaristic in some ways, because they all come out and they kind of know the rules of what the coach expects. It's about lining up and organizing and getting them to do different drills. And if they know the drills already, they know kind of where they need to stand and switch around and do all this stuff. Yeah, it's very interesting to see just what an NBA team does at practice. It's really, really organized and very, very, very they don't mess around. They don't want to mess around with these players and their time. Time is valuable. And if you're going to come in here, no, we're not going to half-ass this practice. Y'all need to come in here, do it right, and get it done in the time allotted, because we know you're busy guys and you have other things to do also. And that's what happens at these practices. Yeah. And I love that you saw the behind the scenes of the camaraderie of the team as far as how much they like each other and how much they enjoy being around each other. That is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. You can't fake this shit. You can't give lip service and say, oh, we're all for one, one for all. We really do love each other and not really mean it. When Scotty says he loves his team, he means it. When Scotty says he loves his coach, he means it. He means it. Yeah. Stargate saying Jamison Battle hit 2 big free throws down the stretch. Yeah, those were huge, huge free throws that absolutely helped us win the game. That and the Omaroi steal were the 2 key plays that really were important right at the end of the game to seal the victory for 905. Smith saying more and more rumblings about the Raptors in this 3 and 4 team trade. Really hope that it's only Bruce Brown outgoing. Now, ESPN has something on their page this morning I'm going to talk about. They have an article about the players' best fits for title contenders where 10 key players could thrive. And they've got our guy Boucher on the list under forwards. Chris Boucher, Toronto Raptors, why he's a trade candidate. The last remaining member of the Raptors 2019 title team. Okay, go ahead and pick us clean, you fuckers down in ESPN. Boucher might be easier for Toronto to trade than the team's other impending free agent wing, Bruce Brown. Few teams have expiring contracts of similar size to send back for Brown, who is making $23 million this season. Boucher's $10.8 million contract is an easier fit. What he might bring to a new team, Boucher's 10.3 points per game are his most since finishing 8th in the six-man award voting in 2020-2021, and his 21.4 points per 36 minutes are career high. He's a high-volume three-point shooter at average accuracy and is making a career-high 64% of his twos. Boucher has been red hot in January, shooting 18 of 34, 53% on threes. Listed at 6'9", 200 pounds, Boucher has enhanced his versatility this season by defending wings on a more regular basis as part of a big Raptors front court after previously primarily playing power forward. The best possible fit is the Clippers, according to ESPN. The Chris Boucher's best fit is, okay, just go where all the former Raptor champions go. Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, Serge Ibaka is the Los Angeles Clippers. That's bullshit. The Clippers are already pretty deep at forward, but adding Boucher and a deal sending PJ Tucker and Bones Highland to Toronto would get them out of the luxury tax while also adding another useful contributor to their bench. Do we want Bad Apple and Bones Highland? No. Do we want a washed up, about to retire shoe collector named PJ Tucker, who's already been here 3 times before? No. So why would we want to do this deal, ESPN, with the Clippers, sending Chris Boucher for Bones Highland and PJ Tucker? Just because it works out for the Clippers? What's in it for the Raptors? That's what I would say. So whatever. A stupid ESPN article is what I just read, is what I just saw. Really, really stupid. Kaz is saying, why do we start Battle and then barely play him? I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like he's always playing bench minutes when he's on. He's one of the best players we have on 905. You know what? I think that some of the stuff with Battle on the 905 is similar to Dick on the main squad. He's a defensive liability in some ways. And what happens is we start these guys, and it's very similar. They may start in the beginning and get a good run, but then they kind of get an afterthought later in the game when things are more defensive oriented. And we're like, man, we need to think about defense. So maybe Battle's not getting back in partly for some of the same reasons that Grady wouldn't get back into a Raptors game, is those kind of things. And also it may have to do with whether he's hitting his shot or not. If Grady's hitting his shot right away at the beginning of the game, he'll get more minutes later in the game. But if he's not playing as well at the beginning of the game, well, he may end up with only 12, 15 minutes for the whole entire game. And that happens to Jameson too, because they're both sharpshooters. They're 3-point specialists in some ways. And if they're not contributing and shooting those threes, they're a liability on defense, and they're less likely to get minutes later in the game. That's a big part of it right there. Trevor's saying 905 is number 1 for making threes in the G League. That's been awesome. Yeah, I'm really happy that they've been doing such a good job with shooting threes. It's a really because everybody shoots them. Frank Kaminsky all the way up to Evan Gilliard. You know, there's everybody shooting threes. Eugene Omoruyi really loves shooting threes, even though he probably shouldn't shoot so many threes. Yeah, Stargate saying, is Zion back from injury yet? And we need to watch out for Yves Missy. Yeah, Zion's back. Zion's been playing, and he has been helping them win again. So we do need to think about Zion tonight. In some ways, I wish Oshai was back. That would be helpful in that matchup. So, yeah, in some ways, we got to corral Zion Williamson. And it may be that Orlando Robinson may be the last line of defense to try and stop Williamson at the hoop. So we'll have to see. Yeah, thumbs up the Cavs. Bryce is here. Good to see Bryce Lawson. Ibu Abaji is number 1 in the G League in blocks. Ulrich is tied for 3rd in total blocks and 3rd in blocks per game. Okay, so that wasn't totally true that Shamshe is leading the G League in blocks. Evelyn's saying, thanks for the love and concern, G, Fiercey, and Tristan. Everybody has concern for you, Granny Swag. We love you. Trevor's saying, Chris made it known that Scotty's going to be unstoppable. Yeah, that is something he said. He's talking about how he knew that Scotty was going to be like this as soon as he met him, as soon as he came on the team, and he's really enjoyed playing with Scott. He's really good friends with him, and that he believes everything's going to happen. I mean, I believe it too. Darko said the same thing. I've said the same thing, that Scotty Barnes is going to be one of the best players in the league, and he's just figuring it out. I mean, I could see the wheels turning in his head when he was a rookie. And I was saying, look, Scotty's growth and the way he becomes a good player is not going to be totally like other players. In some ways, it may take a little longer, but in some ways, it may not. And some of it's just really mentally clicking for him. And I think, like I said last year, the time he spent out of the team because he was hurt for the second half of the season last year was very valuable in getting his bearings and understanding a perspective of the game, not being on the court. And he understood more. He felt the hurt of not being able to help the team and us losing so much at the end of last season, that it gave him more gumption and more will to want to win more for the Raptors. And, that kind of outside perspective of sitting on the bench next to Garrett Temple at the end of last season and talking to him and getting all the insight from the coaches and different people was so beneficial for Scotty in his growth of where he's coming to right now. And that's the thing. It's the more and more it clicks inside of his head, just how powerful he is, the more he will grow into his powers and utilize them to the full potential on the court. And because of his player build, his mentality, and the way he is all around, the sky's the limit. And that's why we can say, Scotty can be one of the top players in the league very soon. Charles Barkley thinks so. He recently said he thinks he's a top 10 player in the NBA, maybe a top 15 player in the NBA. Well, I believe this too, and that he's going to be showing more and more dominance in the right ways more and more. And as Darko said, the thing with Scotty is unlike Benchero or other players on other teams, is he doesn't need to score to take over. He can do anything on the court to help us win, whether it's a huge block, a huge steal, a key rebound, or a very impressive assist to a teammate to set them up for the score to win. So that's the great thing about him. He can do all that, all that. That's right. Most saying IQ was definitely on the bench talking highly yesterday. So he was out there shouting stuff to the other players in the practice. He's being a little coach. IQ coach quickly was at the practice yesterday, giving instruction. I like that. I like that. Let's see. Fiercely saying, I stopped engaging in the chat when I saw he who shall not be named was there with his minions. Yeah. Yeah. There was a whole bunch of us in there. I mean, they had Blake was in there. Mike was in there. I was in there. Panzer was in there. There was like Raptors post game channel was in there also. You know, there's going to be a lot of people in there talking about the Raptors games and stuff like that in there. And we all just coexist. I don't try and get into any verbal spats with people in there. I could if they came at me, I would. But otherwise, I keep the peace and just enjoy the game and just watch it. And nobody was saying anything out of pocket. In fact, he who shall not be named at one point was actually going after the sports bettor that I was talking about earlier and telling him that he needed to get therapy. And that's something that I'll line up with Robert on, that I am anti-sports betting around the NBA. And, you know, we can agree on that. There's not everything that we disagree on. There's some stuff that him and I cross over and we are on the same page. And that is one of them. And I loved how he was roasting the guy who was the sports bettor in the comments yesterday. The guy, the degenerate that had to gamble on the G League, even though he knew nothing about it because he's so in deep with the gambling addiction. Yeah. Yeah. Pensier, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Fiercely saying, yeah, some weird comments on gambling and religion, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. There's always going to be like, there was some guy quoting Bible Psalms or something like that. Yeah, there's always going to be weird stuff in there. Trust me, there always is. Weird trolls, people talking trash about Frank Kaminsky and how much he sucks. That's usually going on in there. Fiercely saying, Bill Kennedy reminds me of a Motown singer, kind of Smokey Robinson era. Well, he has a similar voice to Smokey Robinson. Not going to lie. That's part of the reason why Bill Kennedy is a karaoke champion, because he has a very, very smooth voice. And I'll bet you he could sing Tears of the Clown better than any of the other NBA refs. You give him that mic and put him in a karaoke night and put that on the karaoke machine. Smokey Robinson's The Tears of the Clown. Do, 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 do. I bet you he could lay it down and sound not that far from Smokey. When I was all this is true. Yeah, he could do it, man. I'm telling you, he's got the pipes. Bill Kennedy is #1 referee karaoke star. And I know he could sing it like Smokey Robinson. You know, the delivery at the challenge microphone gives away the performers. You know, another person who's really good with the mic that we had recently is Mark Lindsay. Mark Lindsay, when he does the challenge calls, he's so concise and clear with his explanations. And he really puts out the information in a way that you can understand it. He's like, Toronto is challenging the call on the timeout. And then he'll just be like really clean and crisp with his explanation of the challenge ruling. And yeah, I was really enjoying him going over the challenges with the charges against in the last game against Atlanta, because he's like, yeah, Grady Dick did not establish position outside of the restricted area, so the challenge is successful. You know, you just really, really clean calls. As somebody who worked in radio in the past, I can really appreciate people like Bill Kennedy and Mark Lindsay and their microphone skills. Usually saying that Monique has the best life. So much fun to participate in all these Raptors related events. Good for you. She's a real one, and they need her down there. We need her down there for vibes, and that's why she's going to the arena again. In some ways, that's Mo's job. Vibes, super fan vibes. Bring them to the arena, help the team win. And Monique is strong in her power right now because the Raptors winning a lot right now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, she has a charmed life, and rightfully so. She's a dedicated, passionate fan of the team we love, and she deserves all the great, fantastic things that happen to her all the time. She really, really does. Yeah, 6-6 in January is a record. Yeah, we're 500 in this, and we want to win tonight, so we're 7-6 and be above 500 for 2025 with the Raptors record. In some ways, some people get mad at me saying that. No, Lex, we don't want it. All right, Stankies, why do you come in here? Listen to Raptor Streak tell you why you shouldn't be in Stank Nation. Seriously, don't be in Stank Nation. You don't need to be stank. Let's see. Smooth saying IQ has a new commercial with Kelly Olynyk. It's really funny. Ooh, I'm gonna have to see that. I don't see these commercials often. I've seen that commercial with Kelly. He's at the restaurant, and there's the dance pack guy who has the weird jeweled hair, and he's like, "Oh, we work at the same building." That's so goofy. Kelly's like, "Oh, I know, but we work at the same building." So stupid. I'll have to check out this Emmanuel Kelly commercial you're talking about, Reggie. I'll have to see it. Most saying tonight, my last night until February 4th and 5th, 12th and 21st so far. Need alone time. No, I worry sometimes, Mo. And I know that's part of the reason why you're not in the chat every day is you just have such a hustle and bustle to your life and you need rest. In some ways, I know that you need time for yourself. And you're just going so hard this year that in some ways I worry a little bit about you going so hard. And I know that you need your time for yourself. So that's what I always realize in the morning. If I don't see you here in the chat, it's like, well, Mo's needs are sleep because it's very busy and tiring being a super fan and getting to the games and traveling down there all the time and putting the energy in to root for the team. So I totally understand. You're always got an excused absence on this channel if you want it, because I understand you have a very busy lifestyle. And yeah, I'm looking at your schedule right here. I'm like, holy crap, she's gonna be going down them games 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 in February already. And they're probably gonna be more. I knowing her. And she'll be at that game on the 12th for the Cleveland game against Cleveland when we honor Vince Carter again. Yeah, Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Game day blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Yeah, and it's not even that they tell you, it's what they do. That's the best tell on who they are. It's just look at the action. They can say something to you, but actions speak louder than words. It's true. So pay attention to what they do, not necessarily what they say. That's the add-on I would give to Randolph Phillips' advice here. So yeah, thank you, Randolph. Blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. I appreciate you and your morning blessings. I really do. Stargate saying the process included Jaleel Okafor, Markel Fultz, Nerlens Noel, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey that was not tanked for. Yeah. I'm just saying it's a faulty kind of idea. Adam Silver's changed the league to make rules against teams that are actively trying to do this. And if you get in trouble for doing this, there are harsh penalties. You can ask the Dallas Mavericks. So it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. If your team's just bad, you're going to lose. And well, if your team's good enough to not lose, then you shouldn't be losing. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Carlos saying Stank Nation will be in shambles tonight with 14th win alert. I know. I mean, who are these people? And why are they devoting so much time to the Raptors and getting upset when they win? Like, who are these people? Why are you doing this with your life? Why don't you live your life a little better? Like, if you hate the Raptors so much that you're mad that they're winning, stop watching them. Or if you, I don't get it. You can't be happy because that's what I said. There's certain Raptors fans out there. I don't think they're really fans. I think they're either bots or they're fake fans, people coming in from other nations, acting like they're fans, and they're just adding to the noise. And it doesn't matter, win or lose, the Raptors, they're going to be upset. The Raptors lose tonight, they're going to be upset. Oh, the Raptors suck. We can't even beat the Pelicans. Look at how bad their record is. Oh, the Raptors beat the Pelicans. Oh, no, the Raptors won. I don't want them to win. They're supposed to get a high draft pick. See, there's idiots that are going to be upset no matter the result, whether we win or we lose right now. And those people I just don't have time for them. Seriously. Accept the reality of the Raptors and their season this year and just go with it and stop making up tank fantasies. Seriously. Stop making up tank fantasies just to help yourself in some stupid ways. That's right. Yeah. Monique saying, hope you all take my notes in front yesterday's event. Yeah, I appreciate you going and seeing everything is going on. That's awesome. Jill's here. Good morning, freaks. Good morning to you, Jillian. In the chat this morning. Let's see how Jill's doing. Smith saying a lot of people don't understand that winning is very important when you're in a rebuild. It builds belief in coaching staff. Losing constantly is terrible for morale. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are not rooting for Darko to be successful. Some people don't like him. Some people weird issues like where they're always thinking that they know the best for the team, and they're constantly saying we need to fire Masai and Darko. That is not what's best for the team. And I'll tell you this over and over again. Definitely nothing to do with our front office. We need to keep Bobby Masai there for as long as they can be there, honestly. Don't even hearsay talk about getting rid of them. And Darko needs time and more success. And like Nameless said, he went to the coach's open house. He saw how good a coach he is from seeing it from the inside privately. Yeah, that's what more commonly needs to be known by casual Raptors fan that don't really understand who Darko is. They may only look at the win-loss percentage during his tenure, and that's how they judge him. And that's not fair. That's not fair. That is not fair. And people need to understand that right there. Yeah, that is not fair. That's right. Most saying no, Evo came out alone and not with Grady this time. Okay, so he just came out and talked about him and talked about how he's been helping Grady the last couple of years. He's also working with Jacoby. His two pupils this year are Grady Dick and Jacoby Walter. Last year it was Grady Dick and Gary Trent Jr. So now it's Jacoby in that spot where Gary was as far as teaching from Evo on shooting stuff. Smooth saying it's also important because of Scotty. We don't want him asking for a trade because of all the losing. You know, it's amazing. Like the commitment Scott has to the Raptors is very, very real and strong. You know, I know this because of watching him on on Twitch. You know, that was big, huge reason why I wanted to watch him was I really wanted to get his psychology, then understand what makes him tick, understand what matters to him. And I'm telling you, loyalty and his friendships matter to him a lot. There's a reason why he has friends like Nardo and Lloyd and Jason that he's had forever. People like Jonathan that's on his team. Think about that. He's such a loyal guy. In some ways, he somehow messed around and got his best friend on the team with him. So I'm just saying, Scotty's a real one. And in some ways, he's a real one for our team. And we don't need to be, in some ways, worried about questioning that. Some people, you know, maybe you need to question Chris Bosh. Maybe you needed to question Vince Carter in the past, but not with Scott. Scott is like DeMar. I can tell. Scott is like Fred. Scott is like these guys who've honored and cherished being a Raptor and doesn't look down on it, doesn't look at it as a step down in the rest of the league. It really, in some ways, the other thing that occurred to me about Scotty on the Raptors is, you know, if he stays on the Raptors his whole entire career, he messes around. He could be the leader in almost all stat categories by the end of his career. Seriously. Like, isn't that attractive to you, Scott? You play your whole entire career with the Raptors. You could end up being the leader in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals for the whole entire franchise all time. That's crazy. I'm telling you, in some ways, I think Scott's a real one. The money's invested in him. He knows he can make the most money here. He loves Masai. He loves Darko. I think that this is the other thing. Because of what he did this weekend in Atlanta, they're going to be looking for him. Yeah. We knew this was going to happen as soon as we drafted him. As soon as I saw his broad shoulders and his body and his frame, that people are going to want him on their teams. Other teams in the league are going to be saying, we want Scotty. And they're going to try and lure him out of here. We have to be ready for this. But this is the thing. Scotty's loyal. In some ways, Scotty would only go somewhere else if we are in trouble here, like Smooth is saying. And if he feels like Masai knows what he's doing and the front office is doing a badass job bringing him new players in, which he sees and he feels right now, if he feels like Darko has a plan and he's building towards something as a coach that's worthwhile and is going somewhere, well, he'll be very happy here. And he is. He's very happy, even though our record's so bad. You know, he probably talks to Cade Cunningham and trades notes. And Cade and Pistons is finally getting traction right now. But the years before with Cade, the first 3 years of his career were dismal and awful and horrible. And I wonder how often Scotty talked to Cade and said, do you guys feel like you're getting anywhere there? And he's like, man, I don't even know at this point. We had Monty this year, and I like Monty, but he's not going to be here next year because I could tell he hated it here. And everything's so crazy around here, Scotty. You're really lucky in Toronto because Masai's there and things are going like more organized. Here in Detroit, things are crazy and kind of chaotic. They could have been trading notes the first few years of their career. And Cade Cunningham's story and notes from Detroit sound real different than Scotty's notes from Toronto. And that's what I'm saying. That's something we got to remember. And Smooth's exactly right. We need to win if y'all want to keep Scotty on our team. How about that? Seriously, I don't think Scott. I really do think if Scotty's going to choose somebody, he's going to choose to stay on the Raptors. Seriously, because he has that kind of loyalty. I can tell he has that kind of loyalty. He shows it with his family and his friends. That's what I'm saying right there. Carlos saying throwing everything out the window for a chance at getting flag or ace is like throwing a couple of years down the toilet, and then you'll see a play-in team winning the draft lottery. I know it's just not smart. If it was guaranteed stuff, it's still not even smart in some ways because you're really messing with your culture, like Smooth's saying. And you don't want to do that. Jill's giving me a drink water at 10:30. I'm 20 minutes later. Let's see. All right. On that note, let me go ahead and do the Instagram stories. All right, we got Grady Dick, and there's fire in the air. Grady Dick with the #1 jersey. That's right. Shamshay is putting on blast a player from Florida, University of Florida. Who is that? Ruben? Ruben, some guy named Ruben who plays for Florida. He's a friend of Shamshay's, obviously. And he's also got a play from yesterday in the game where he got a dunk from Kennedy Chandler on an assist. There's Jacoby's family in the crowd in Atlanta, holding up the 14 Walter jerseys, and they're wearing the Walter jerseys themselves. So awesome to see them in the crowd, and Jacoby put them on blast. They actually got their posted by the Raptors official account too. Yeah, there's Jacoby smiling. Jacoby's having a great year, man. He's a great young man, and I can tell he's really relishing being in the NBA. He gets it, and he's going to be a really good player in the future, man. I'm telling you. Toronto Tempo president, Teresa Resch, has got something going on with an opportunity with what is this? This is some sort of coaches something. I don't know. I don't even know what this clip is. It's a Raptors fellowship. It's for the Wayne and Teresa Embry fellowship. She's putting it on blast there. Matt Devlin's got some highlights from the Raptors game against the Hawks on Saturday. There's a layup by Jamal Shed that he's getting dapped for. Dylan Disu's got them hanging out at with the kids from I don't know. There's some sort of kids camp Dylan Disu did recently. And yeah, that's right. I remember seeing that advertised. So he was there, and there looks like assistant GM Dan Tolzman was there too. Eugene Omaroy's got some words of wisdom from a pastor speaking about God. So if you want to check out some Jesus teachings from Eugene Omaroy on his Instagram, he's got it there. And there's his line from yesterday: 23 minutes, 24 points, 10 of 14 shooting. Fantastic stuff. Number 97. And AJ to Gene on the fast break. I love that. That's good stuff. AJ Lawson with a couple of his highlights. There's a big dunk he had in the game yesterday. Let's see. Morris Peterson is celebrating a charity basketball game called the Celebrity Super Slam. And it looks like he is on that list of the celebrities who's going to be there for Celebrity Super Slam. It's in New Orleans at Xavier University. And it'll be February the 7th from 6 to 9 p.m. If you're in New Orleans, you want to see Morris Peterson, that's where he'll be. Is that it? No, there's more. There's Davion Mitchell against Trey Young. Good bump. Good bump. Yeah, I think that's a good bump. They called a foul on him. No, he got the steal, and he got the ball back the other way. Yeah, Davion has a picture of him with fire because he's been on fire. Yeah, he's commemorating the passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter. The 5-year anniversary was just recently, and I know a lot of NBA players. Kobe means so much to the NBA family that it is really something that they like to honor and cherish him and remember him around this anniversary. So yeah, we see him putting up something for Kobe and his daughter Gianna. Yeah, it's really sad, man. There he is out with the dog 18 hours ago. What time was that? That was at about 4:05 yesterday afternoon. Davion Mitchell had the dog out in the snow for a walk. So we're getting to see Davion with the dog out a bit. He's got Mitu on blast. Shimze Mitu, who's playing in EuroLeague. Davion Mitchell's stealing abilities against Jaylen Brown and other players in the league. Cade Cunningham. Good stuff. He's asking poll right now, 2 hours ago on his Instagram stories. Davion wants to know if he should wear some green shoes to game. You can go answer him on his Instagram stories and have some fan input on whether Davion should wear the lime green shoes that he's asking. Should I wear these in the game tonight? I don't know. You guys maybe should tell him. Game day, he's the picture on the game day for tonight, 7:30 tip-off, Scotiabank Arena. Slim Duck was messing around with Scotty during his interview yesterday. Scotty's getting interviewed, and Slim Duck was filming over the shoulder of Doug Smith. Doug Smith turned around and saw him, and Chris is just being kind of playful in the press yesterday. There's Chris on the court, and he said, Jesus said, I called you to win souls, not arguments. Chris is really wise right now. He's really, really smart. He's got a Deion Sanders clip where he's saying my attitude for the whole year is the Colorado coach. Let's see. And when the other team's worst defender says, I got him, and looks straight at you, and you start laughing. I don't know. They put the worst defender on you sometimes, Chris. Here's some highlights from the coach's open house on the Raptors official admin. We see Mary Andrade out on the court. They probably use the TMU players again, or York University female players to show the drills on the court. That's what they did last year. Thank you to the Raptors coaching staff and all you for spending your Sunday with us. Raptors development. There you go. Let's see what else. Eric Smith, his Instagram. Eric Smith is giving reasons for what happened to the Bills yesterday. Of course, Jack Armstrong, Eric Smith, huge Bills fans, very invested in that Bills-Chiefs game yesterday that did not go their way. The Kansas City Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills to go to the Super Bowl. And this is what Eric Smith has tweeted and said is the problem here. 3 calls, 2 especially, made a huge difference. That was not a KC catch, and it wasn't an interception either. It was incomplete. 4th and 1, that was a Buffalo first down, 0 doubt. And face mask on Buffalo, highly questionable. All that said, Kincaid must make that catch. Congrats, KC, I guess. That's Eric Smith's response to the Buffalo Bills losing and being out for the season at the end here in the playoffs. It's sad. Bills Nation gets their hopes up, just like Leafs Nation. It's sad. Toronto Tempo gear on blast all over the place. All over the place. Toronto Tempo gear is all over town already. That's right. Let's see. There's some highlights from the 905 game on their 905 official account with the score and stuff like that. And I think that's it. That's it for the Instagram stories. Yeah, Chris Boucher messing around with Scotty at press yesterday. All right, let's see. Smooth saying no thank you to that Clippers trade. Yeah, we don't need Bones Highland. And I know PJ Tucker ain't wanting to be in Toronto again. Seriously, I know for sure he does not want to be in Toronto again. So, yeah, I know that for a fact. Yeah, Mo's saying Scotty said a few words after practice. Thanks, fans, for coming out. Jones at the very end. It's not just about the X's and O's. Andrew Jones was there, too. Wait, how could he have been there? No, he wasn't there. Andrew Jones couldn't have been there. You're talking about Paul Jones. Paul Jones said that. I'll bet Paul Jones did because he usually hosts the event. Yeah, because Andrew Jones, he was in Quebec coaching the 905. He couldn't have been in 2 places at once. Yeah. Smooth saying PJ Tucker's 39 and will ask for a buyout. Bones Highland is a head case, not worth the problems. Completely agree with Reggie. No, ESPN. Stop suggesting bad draft picks and horrible trades for the Raptors. This has been very much the same thing you do all the time. Telling us we need to draft Jalen Suggs when we needed to draft Scotty Barnes. That's right. Most saying W Stream, W Vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Raptor Freak Crew, strong forever. Let's keep getting better. You go too, Monique, to the game and help us win tonight. Get 4 in a row. That's right. Jill's saying, I love that pregame dance that Garrett leads the guys in. Yeah, I like all the different little handshakes and daps and jumping around and weird stuff they do. Kyle Lowry used to go low. That stuff is fun. Sipping tea with Pascal, sipping tea. Those kind of things are awesome. You see them before the game where the players are doing dap, going out to the court to do the jump ball. You'll see all kinds of weird handshakes and daps and high fives going on. It's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Carlos saying that conga line is funny. Yeah, they're always doing some fun stuff. Fun stuff. That's right. Jill's got the thumbs up. Most saying Wayne Embry and Teresa applications are officially open. Yeah, check that out if you can. And if you're young enough and you qualify, maybe you'll be the next intern at the Raptors and the Wayne and Teresa Embry Fellowship. Yeah, do it. Do it. Kenrick's here. Y'all welcome to Kenrick Chronic Art James, a great tattoo artist, a great artist in the greater Toronto area. If you guys have any tattoos you want commissioned, any kind of artwork done in any kind of way, Kenrick James is your guy. He's done some artwork from my channel before. This is absolutely fantastic. I appreciate you, Kenrick. And it's great to see you in the chat live today. He's saying, I've been watching Darko. I've been critical of him, historic losses, but I've seen he has grown as a coach since last year. It's good to see his development also. That's what he keeps saying. I mean, we do need to understand that's true. Even with him not having any NBA experience before this, he's been an assistant coach. He's been a G League coach. He's been a head coach in other places. But being a head coach in the NBA is a different learning curve. And in some ways, he's very open about being in development himself. It's very important for him to read and take in as much information about being a top level coach in the world, not just in basketball, but from information from all sports and coaching philosophies. He's definitely a student, and he is definitely in development himself on the down low. And some Raptors fans may not realize this. So I like that Kenrick is noticing improvement from him in the 2 years that we've had him as our coach, and that he can see it. That's what I'm saying. He's going to get better and better. He's learning too. And the coaching staff around him, the same thing. So, yeah, I appreciate that, Kenrick. And I'm glad to see you back in the chat live with us, man. Kaz has got Instagram stories and classic card. We'll definitely do the classic card soon. We got the Instagram done. Bless up, big Raptor freaks. Good morning, Neil. And thank you for going to the open gym, open coach's house, and hanging out with Monique yesterday. She says you have a picture of the two of you that you need to send me so I can see the picture of you guys at the coach's open house. Mo's saying, I did my first interview of 2025 this week. Stay tuned. Can't say who with. This is exciting. So Superfan Mo has got interviews she's doing. I did not know this. And she's doing an interview with somebody. This will be fantastic. I can't wait to see this content come out, Mo. And if you have a new endeavor going down with interviews with important people, I'm here for it. I want to see what you're doing. You've got my interest peaked here, Monique. I'm wondering what's going on. Blackhawks saying the VC jersey retirement in Brooklyn was soft in comparison to ours. Fuck Brooklyn. Yeah, and big up to Mo. Yeah, I saw some of the highlights. Like I said, Vince recycled some of the comments that he made in Toronto for the Brooklyn one. In some ways, it seemed like he was a little bit more like comfortable at the New Jersey one than the Toronto one. Obviously, because of the acrimony between Raptors Nation and him is not totally all great. In Nets, he's pretty popular, and there's not a lot of people that don't like him in New Jersey, like in Toronto. So in some ways, you get those vibes from that. It's a little bit easier for him because it's not as painful the past with the Brooklyn Nets franchise as the Raptors franchise. I don't know, Vince. I've gone back and forth. In some ways, you've done a good job of ingratiating yourself and being a part of Raptors alumni, but I know that you're not fully with us. In some ways, you really do put your foot in Magic fan nation and alumni and Nets fan nation and alumni more than the Raptors in certain ways. It may be partly because you've been estranged and not used to being a part of Raptors culture and alumni, but you need to continue to embrace this and don't just come through and take all your kudos this year and just be like, okay, I got retired by the Raptors. I'm here for this year, but I'll disappear and never come back to Toronto ever again after that. If you do that, that'll really show your loyalties and the way you really think about it all. You need to keep an active relationship with the Raptors franchise going forth from now on. And if you turn your back on us, even if it feels like you did, I'm going to call you out for it and say, yeah, Vince only came by to get his flowers this year from getting his jersey retired and the stuff we're doing for him. But honestly, he's not a real part of our alumni because he doesn't participate or actively continue to keep that bond going. And that's something he's got to think about. You can't just come by and get all your accolades and then turn your back on us for the rest of your life. If you do this, Vince, it'll go revert back to how I feel about you from last summer. I'm okay with you right now, but I'm watching you still, just so you know. Big up to Mo from Blackhawk and Go Raps Go from Jillian. I like that. Kareem saying there's got to be lots of tension in the locker room between Kelly and Scotty on who has better sandwiches. So can we settle it here? What's better, Subway or Bar Burrito? I don't even know why you're asking this because it's obvious that Subway and the Carnivore and Scotty Barnes is number one. I don't even know what Bar Burrito is. Bar Burrito? Bar Burrito? Bar Burrito? Bar Burrito? I don't know what that is. That's that commercial he did with the guy. Oh, he works with me in the same building. Yeah. No, there's no contest here. It's just like if Scotty and Subway were going against Norman and Osmos. No contest there either. Subway, eat fresh. Yeah, Scotty Barnes, Bullway, baby. Come on now. You know it's Bullway. Come on, man. Come on now. Mo's saying, Neil, send me a picture and fuck Brooklyn. There you go. Monique is going to get a dunk just for saying fuck Brooklyn. She just added it in just for fun. Just threw it right in there. She's like, I want the picture from yesterday, Neil, but fuck Brooklyn. Let me just hang on a sec. I forgot to say something real quick. Fuck Brooklyn. Why not? Just add that in there real quick. All right, Monique. You got a dunk for it. You got 24 points on the dunk chart right now. That's right. How do I reach you, Neil? There you go. Mo, you know what I could do? I could send you his phone number if you want. I've got both y'all's phone numbers. So I'll send you his phone number after just in case so you can get in touch with him. Maybe he can text you the picture. That would be good. Jill's saying, Lex, I'm a huge politics fan. Oh, Lord. Well, we're trying not to talk about it too much here. I'll gloss over it a little bit, but in some ways, Jill, this is not welcome. Let's just so you know. The bots continue unreal. Yeah, there's a lot of bots all over the place. But it's funny how they've kind of changed from being so negative all last year during the political year to being more positive all of a sudden. And it's weird. The weird thing that I'm worried about right now is Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg and Meta are in that little group with those idiots with Trump. And I'm really worried that Facebook is going to start being used in really ugly, insidious ways. And we need to be careful. I'm thinking about leaving Facebook, to be honest, just like how I left Twitter last year during the whole mess with Elon owning it. In some ways, I'm starting to believe that Facebook is compromised also, guys, and that people should start seriously considering taking all their information off of Facebook because there could be some really crazy shit happening with Mark Zuckerberg and his control over that company and all that data and all that information about everybody. So seriously, I don't trust this shit anymore. It's obvious that the billionaires are running the government of the United States at this point. And this is not a good trend, guys. This is not a good thing. This is really, really not a good thing. All right. I don't want to talk about this too much, though, but I will warn y'all may want to consider deleting and deactivating your Facebook accounts. Seriously. Let's see. Unfortunately, stankers are normal and sometimes successful. I believe they're definitely an orchestrated strategy. Yeah, I think that there's a way that's been figured out in the world to confuse and confound and mess people up. Like our sad friend that used to be a regular on this channel. They get compromised by misinformation and lies, basically. And there's no fact checking anymore online anymore. In fact, Twitter took fact checking away when Elon bought it. And now Facebook has taken fact checking away. And that's what I'm saying, that it's compromised. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be on Facebook. It's going to change starting right now. And you guys may be shocked at just how much it changes in a very bad way very soon, just like Twitter did. So seriously, reconsider whether you need to be on Facebook or not. I'm seriously considering closing it. And if we do that, we're going to have to figure out another way to stay in touch through the way we do it on Facebook. Because I'm serious, this is a big problem. And I feel like Zuckerberg is evil and he's in that group with them now. In some ways, I thought he was just some guy, some tech guy, but he's compromised. And obviously, you know, they're going to be doing some crazy shit. The United States is fucked. It's not a democracy anymore. It's been bought by the billionaires, and they're going to be running things for their own benefit to the detriment of everybody else. Just so y'all know, they've already started doing it. Stargate saying, big up, Blackhawk. Blackhawk be schooling them teeny tankers in spaces lately. There you go, Neil. You go on then. Yeah, Stank Nation, just shut up. And Blake wants me to be more respectful to you guys, not call you stankies. Why, Blake? Do you have BO? Is that why you get upset when I call people stankies? They're stank because they like tank. And I ain't about tank unless it's Kaminsky. That's what I'm saying right there. That's right. That's right. Will do, Mo. There you go. There you go. Y'all get hooked up and get that picture to her. Jillian's saying the best sandwiches are burritos because the best burritos are in Latin American restaurants. The North American franchises have rice. No. You're not all about the Qdoba. You're not all about the whatchamacallit. I don't even remember that stupid franchise because I don't even eat at it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know what? I don't even know the comparison between Kelly's restaurant and Scotty's restaurant. Because in some ways they're burritos versus sandwiches. So it's not even a good comparison. That's right. Big up to Stargate. Monty, Moody, what? I brought up Monty Williams for a second. I can bring him up for a second. He was a coach of the Pistons last year. Stay on task. Joey, you've been all crazy thinking that Fred VanVleet played for the Charlotte Hornets recently. In some ways, Jill, you got to do your homework because you're not fact checking. You're not understanding the facts out there. That's what I'm saying. Kareem saying at Stargate Blackhawk, I give you guys props, man. Space is a gauntlet. I get so frustrated after 30 seconds and just leave. Even after wins, it's a bad conversation. That's what I'm saying. Why even bother being there? You guys know we can do this in the morning. I'm sure there's other outlets for Raptors content that you enjoy that doesn't have to be such a dismal, stupid ass place where even after a win, people are miserable in their lives. That's why I'm talking about this. It's like these people are going to be miserable no matter what. It doesn't matter if they win or lose. They're going to be miserable. That's just the action. They're just miserable people on Spaces. And that's just the damn truth. That's just the damn truth. Stankies are miserable people in general. They really are. Very, very miserable. Most saying VC Nets jersey retirement was ass. Nothing will beat ours. Most so awesome. Standing on that. I'm still reverberating from the dunk for the fuck Brooklyn earlier. That was awesome. Blackhawk saying, hang in there, Kareem. Sense will conquer nonsense. Well, it doesn't matter. They're going to be making their own dumb peanut gallery noise no matter what. Whether it's informed, misinformed, stupid, unnecessary, they're going to do it. The Raptors are going to do what they're going to do in reality no matter what, too. And it won't have anything to do with what they say or what they do. That's the funniest thing about it, is they can get all bent out of shape and act all crazy on Spaces, but it has no impact on a damn thing. So you go ahead and just go and be miserable, you idiots on Spaces that are all upset about Raptors winning games when you think they should be tanking. You go ahead and put yourself through that torture. It's unnecessary, and you put yourself through needless suffering. You don't need to do this. If y'all were more Buddhist, you'd understand this shit. But you're not. You're just idiots, and you have a really weird mentality about how the Raptors should operate. So, yeah, that's what I'll say right there. Sense will not conquer nonsense when people are too stupid to figure out sense. Them are like that. Get it? Because they're dumb is basically what I'm saying. Let's see. Let's see. On this, I jumped ahead. I want to make sure I don't miss. Okay, Carlos saying if Norman into the All-Star team, he'll start from that 2019 Raptors championship squad. You know, he has a chance. This is a really interesting thing that Kaloy's brought up because Norman's playing so well in Kawhi's absence that he is kind of the man for the Clippers this year. And that if they're going to get an all-star, Norman Powell should be seriously considered. His stats are really good. I mean, he's averaging over 20 points a game, and he's carrying them. So it's not really like a all-star luster to him. In some ways, people may be like, huh, Norman Powell's an all-star, but his numbers are there. But I don't know if he'll get it. I mean, it's so stacked out west. The spots are limited. And in some ways, Norman is not a perennial all-star already. He may get left out because of older players like LeBron, Kevin, and Steph Curry taking spots around in that team. But, man, that would be awesome. And that's a really cool factoid that the Raptors championship team would have 6 all-stars at that point if that happened. That's fantastic. Kaloy, I love that little factoid. I'm going to give you a dunk. I'm going to give Carlo JS a dunk. Real informative. There you go. Let's see. Cass saying, agree with you guys. That Clipper trade is trash. Yeah, don't even bring that garbage in here, Dim Bontemps, with your bullshit. Kareem saying, my prediction is we get the win and Orlando Robinson gets the chain, but this only happens if Jakob is out mysteriously. Yeah, I don't think it's mysteriously that he's out. It's his back hurts. His back is tweaked a little bit. So he's having a little bit of a back pain right now. So there's no mystery why we'd be out tonight. That'd be fun, though. I mean, Orlando Robinson getting the chain on the last day of his 10-day contract, and then hopefully him getting a second 10-day contract signed tomorrow. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. So he's saying, well, most people identify Vince Carter as a Raptor. No matter how much he does with Brooklyn won't change that. Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with this. And he should be always first and foremost to us. And that's part of the reason why he gave us the opportunity to retire his jersey before they did. And that was important to him. He's saying, well, listen, Nets, I know y'all want to retire my jersey, but I want to give the Raptors a chance to do it before you guys. And he gave us that chance, and we did. And, yeah, this is totally true. But in some ways, Vince has said in his interviews and his speeches that his prime was in New Jersey and that he had his best years playing as a Net in the NBA. He believes that himself. He thinks that his very best years were when he played for New Jersey. This is what he says. Yeah. Blackhawk saying there was more emotion in that Raptors jersey retirement. It didn't feel special in Jersey, or maybe it's Toronto just knows how to go big. The thing with Vince and the emotion in his retirement jersey ceremony in Toronto is the healing. Is the seriously, he's not been welcome in Toronto for decades. He has been a pariah. He's been an enemy. He's been booed mercilessly. And in some ways, that has been the action for a long time. So him getting cheers and us actually being okay with him putting the jersey retirement up there, that healed a lot. And that's the emotion right there. That's why he's going, come on, oh, doing all that stuff and yelling and getting all hyped up because it's a path of redemption for him with Raptors Nation that healed somewhat because of the events of this year. And in some ways, that is way more emotional. He didn't have nothing to heal with the Nets. He didn't have anything because he didn't do them wrong. And in some ways, that's part of it right there. That's part of it right there. Yeah. Mo Darko said yesterday he's learning a lot from different coaches. Credit to the Real Madrid coach. There you go. Yeah, he's got a pulse on the world of basketball and just the profession of coaching in general. Like I said, he's studying soccer coaches, he's studying football coaches, baseball, every kind of sport. Edge. He's not just studying basketball stuff. He's studying everywhere, everywhere. Carlos saying Vince's Brooklyn retirement comments were so disappointing. Yeah, it is what it is. He's going to play two sides of the border, just like Sam Mitchell. It is what it is. He's always been that kind of guy. And well, he's American. And in some ways, he's a xenophobe in some ways, deep down inside. I know he is on his views about Canada and the United States. And, he can deny that, but you can tell. You can just feel that energy. You can just feel that energy. Sometimes you can just feel it. Yeah, you're not totally like okay with Canada like you are with the States. You don't look at them as equal. I know that, Vince. I can tell. We can all tell. We feel that energy from you. Like I Joe, we can go mono on politics. Yeah, I'm trying not to talk about it, guys. In some ways, I don't want to. I don't want to even look at it or understand what's going on down there. I'm not paying attention, honestly, in a lot of ways, as much as I used to. Let's just put it that way. Smith saying, Carlo, what did he say? Well, the stuff that I heard him say was basically like I said, that he had in Brooklyn, that he considers his best years in his NBA career in Brooklyn, that that he really he said something about Jason Kidd that was kind of insulting. That Jason Kidd was the first player that he ever played with that really set him up in the way that he liked. So that was kind of insulting to Alvin Williams, honestly. So yeah, there's a couple of different things there. Fiercely saying, Lex, don't sleep on Bar Burrito. Their burrito bowls are solid. They put in way more meat than the bowl way. I haven't ever eaten there, so I can't make an educated choice between this. I was just saying, Kareem asked who has a better sandwich, and I said, well, Subway, because it's a Subway sandwich place. And that's why I say I've never eaten a bar burrito, so I have no idea. No idea. Fiercely saying, however, Subway sandwiches are my go-to meals when we have tournaments, healthier for the kids. Yeah, eat fresh. Most of the time, Subway's pretty good. I used to work at Subway in Tallahassee, and I am a sandwich artist. I know all about Subway and the way they run. And in some ways, I've thought about being an inspector. Like if I came into Subway location, I could tell whether they were following code and also how fresh and things are going on with what they're doing because I'm like well versed with health inspector stuff and also being a Subway sandwich artist and understanding how to prep and put everything together and have the station ready. And often if I go to a restaurant like that, I'm secretly like looking over everything and deciding, well, is this a good Subway location or not? Because they're all different. They're all different. There are very bad Subway locations in the greater Toronto area. And there are very good ones also. And it's a hit and miss. You got to kind of know where a good Subway is, and then you can go and frequent that one. But if it's a bad Subway, ooh, stay away. Stay away. There's a good Subway at Girard Square. So go to Girard Square Subway. They're very nice people, and they keep that place really well at Girard Square Subway. Just an endorsement of a Subway real quick. Because he's saying no oily or heavy food when you need to be in shape for games. Yeah, the food mostly at Subway is pretty healthy. Pretty healthy for the most part. Now, them cookies ain't. Them chips, nope. And you know what? In some ways, the bread is not healthy for you either. But the vegetables and the meat and stuff like that, it's usually pretty good. Carlos saying SBM, Vince still questions why he got criticized for starting new with Brooklyn and playing with J Kidd was amazing for him. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? He's just egotistical. He can't get outside of his head and see it from the perspective of Toronto and Toronto fans. He can only see it from himself and his own selfish reasons for what he did. And because there was no social media back then, he had no echo chamber to see how his behavior was actually affecting the public in Canada. And in some ways, he didn't ever really want to know. And because social media came around and now we can all tell him, he's like, oh, I didn't realize I had that kind of effect on people with what I did. Yeah, you did, you asshole. And you're only being kind of into yourself. You don't understand the impact you had on Toronto and the Raptors franchise and how you did what you did. And people can blame Rob Babcock. People can blame this. Even they even show the preview for the next episode of this show, the Sportsnet documentary series with Vince Carter, where Rob Black says "fuck you" to Rob Babcock. You say "fuck you, Rob Babcock." He basically said that. Rob Black said that shit. I was like, holy crap. Holy crap. Yeah, this episode is going to be good. It's coming out in 2 days on Sportsnet. The next chapter of the Raptors 30th anniversary series on Sportsnet, the documentary series, going over the Vince years. And Tracy McGrady is interviewed in it. And he has some interesting things to say. And yeah, Vince, I mean, seriously, I don't understand how you're so stupid that you can't understand how the fuck you screwed over Toronto. And you can act like, oh, I was innocent. I didn't know what to do. No, you were fucking just as part of the bad things that happened. We can blame Rob Babcock, Kevin O'Neill, whoever the fuck you want to blame, but you had your part in it too. And you need to own up to it, is what I've said. Same old lack of self-awareness. Exactly. Exactly. Boom goes the dynamite. And Blackhawks saying the rich will always covet the rich. Well, the problem is that they're gaming the system to make it really, really widened even more with the gap of inequality and wealth. And the sad thing is, there's a way more and more families going homeless and starving, and these people don't care. They have no social contract for the workers. They don't care about the common man in the everyday world. They're only worried about getting more and more billions and stupid ass crazy shit, which is absolutely crazy. The minority that's destroying the world is the 1%, the ultra billionaire rich. And they are going to go really bad in the next 4 years. And it may get to the point where there needs to be violent revolution. I'm just saying, we're getting real close to that let them eat cake moment. Let's just put it that way. And well, they want to push it. They're going to find out at the end of it. The populace and the people will decide in the end. They think that they got all the power, but in the end, the masses will decide. And it may not be pretty, especially if they're going to do things really, really in fucked up, crooked ways, like Trump is doing so far. Like he's doing so far. Yeah. Smooth saying, well, quitting on your team, you'll get those questions. That's exactly right for you, Chris. Vince. That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. All right, y'all. Let's limit the comments. I'm at 2 hours. Fiercely saying, last comment. My friend's Facebook account was hacked 2 days ago. She's now having all sorts of issues authenticating herself as the hackers have made her account their own. She needs to email them. Yeah. Well, maybe she should just get off of there. Seriously. I'm serious. I'm seriously considering it. And I have a lot invested in being on Facebook for 18 years. A lot of friends, a lot of things. And I'm ready to turn my back on it and walk away because I do not trust Mark Zuckerberg. And I do not trust the direction it's going and what I can see on there. They're not for people. That Facebook is not a humanitarian kind of site. They could be a lot more helpful to mental health, but they're not trying. They're trying to mess up your mental health by what they put in the algorithm that you see. So don't get it twisted. Facebook is not your friend anymore, and you may need to delete it. Just trust me on this warning. Seriously. Smooth saying at Carlo, he turned into MJ as soon as he got traded. Yeah, it was bullshit. Like Vince, anyway, I don't want to diss on Vince too much right now. He just had his birthday. But yeah, Vince is full of shit, honestly. In some ways, I'm okay with the retirement of his jersey. I'm okay with that, but I'm not totally okay with Vince still. Still not totally okay. Jill saying, Lex, I figured out Monty William is. Forgot to delete. Okay. Okay. All right, Jill. Carlos saying exactly 13 points to 27 points per game. I know that was messed up. And Smooth saying how ugly that time in Raptors history was, man. It was very ugly. It was dismal. It was dark. Vince Carter shot us in the back of the head and left us in a shallow grave out in a cornfield is basically what he did. You don't like the way I just described that, Vince? Basically what you did. You and Alonzo Mourning with his bullshit too. Yeah, the Alonzo stuff's just as full of shit too. Oh, man, what a horrible trade. Worst trade in the history of the NBA. Kareem Is Zion still into porn stars? I hope Drake and Top 5 took care of him last night. I don't know. And they just hung out as old Duke teammates. As that's what I would hope. Maybe RJ's being a good friend, keeping him out of trouble. Monique saying serious cutoff. Limit the comments for Lex, just helping him. I appreciate that, Mo. I really do. Jillian saying if somebody's Facebook account was hacked, they need to change their password immediately to a question like, who are you? Or you love me or go to hell. Okay. Kareem saying we need the Sunday matinee again. What advantage the Raptors had? Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that either. I mean, I used to hate those games working them, but now that I understand the benefit of them, I kind of want the return. I'm kind of with you on that. Nins is here. Good morning, Lex from Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, Nins. And Jill saying Vince tried to be genuine at his retirement, but if you don't feel it, then you don't. It is what it is. No, I think Vince was genuine. I think that in some ways we got him, and in some ways he had little veiled double messages in some of the stuff he said as far as like it's going up there whether you like it or not. You just enjoy it, enjoy the moment with me. It's not just for me, it's for all of us, which he recycled and used in Brooklyn this weekend also. You know, that doesn't make it special, Vince, when you kind of use the same speech in Brooklyn as when the one you used in Toronto, saying it's not just me going up there, it's all of us going up there with it. He said the same damn thing this weekend as did in Toronto. So it's not helpful. It's not helpful. Let's see. Stargate saying, yeah, Lex, you should do that inspector stuff. You have my support for that. Yeah, I mean, I used to, if I was interested in that kind of career, in some ways I don't want to be that asshole and shut down, like, because some of the Subway franchises are family businesses. And the families own a franchise, and I don't want to be a jerk and come in and shut down a restaurant for health codes. In some ways, that's right and legal, but also at the same time, I don't like the idea of doing that to a family business. There was a Subway that was on Queen Street at Portland next to the Velvet Underground that was ran by a friend of mine named Danny. And Danny owned that Subway for West, raised the rent of those buildings to a point where Danny could not afford it anymore. He got priced out by his landlords and had to shut down that Subway that used to be at Queen and Portland. Yeah, it pisses me off. And before it happened, I came in there for one last time. He said, oh, my friend, I've known you for years, because I have known him since 1999 when I started working at the Velvet Underground. And I went in there a couple years ago and he said, my friend, I have to leave because I can't afford the rent here anymore and I'm out of here. I just wouldn't want to be that guy. I do the job very well, though. You're right. If I was a Subway food inspector or like a Subway corporate check on the locations to make sure they're keeping up the things, I would do that job above and beyond. I would, but I'm not interested in doing that job because in some ways I don't want to mess with people's livelihood, even if they're not following code. Trevor's saying, why are you guys are going to that site, finding your kids' friends about the Raptors, making you crazy? Okay, he's talking about going to the spaces. Trevor's like, why are you going to the spaces? Why are y'all going in there and talking to them about the Raptors? You're making it so crazy. I'm kind of with Trevor on this. I mean, I tried Zazu Spaces a couple times and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. In some ways, it's like, I don't want to yell over a kindergarten class. In some ways, you trying to get through to a brick wall is basically what it seems like in there. That's what it seems like. Yeah. Jill saying, yes, Lex, Tim Hortons at Girard Square is phenomenal. Tim Hortons? No, I'm not talking about that Tim Hortons on the corner. I'm talking about inside the mall at Girard Square, Subway in the food court. The people that work there are awesome. I came in there and I said, I want Bowlway because Scotty Barnes told me to get it. And I said, who's Scotty Barnes? I said, Bowlway. And she said, what is Bowlway? I said, that thing. I'm there with the rice. It's like, oh, we just got this. I've never had this before. It's like, yeah, I want to try it. It's Bowlway. Scotty Barnes sent me. And the lady was like, okay, all right. And I was like, go Raptors. And she's like, okay, whatever. And she made me the Bowlway. And it was good. And I sat in the food court and ate it. Jillian saying, Trevor, I don't understand your sentence. He's saying, don't go on spaces, is what he's saying. Kareem saying, just a reminder, Jokic won his first MVP 8 years into his career. And look at him now. Scotty is in year 4 and is in the right direction at a faster pace. I always say that to myself. There you go. I like that. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective of Nicola's career and where he got the MVPs. All right, let's see, Scott. Come on now. I know he's going to get an NBA MVP at some point and a championship. Blackhawks saying switch the fan base. Yeah, switch the fan base. Did we miss the classic card? No, we did not. It's coming up very soon. Jillian's got my 11:30 cutoff, and we're at 11:30 right now. So that's weird. It's 11:30 right this second. How'd you do that? Yeah. Okay, we're going to do the classic card soon. Jill's saying, yes, Lex, I mixed up the name of Fred's team. They're now second now, so I'm very proud. Yeah, Fred VanVleet and the Houston Rockets are the second best team in the Western Conference after the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that is fantastic. That's a testament to the leadership of Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks and the fantastic job that M.A. Adoka and that team has done in their turnaround since he became the coach there. So, yeah, I'm very proud of the Rockets and the stuff they're doing. I want them to do well in the postseason. I do not hate Coach Adoka. He's not on the Celtics anymore. In fact, he caused problems for them. And I love Villain Dylan. I love my Fred. So anything the Rockets can do in the postseason, I am behind. I'm rooting for them. That's right. Kareem saying, Lex, I feel you. If you go into spaces and breathe life into those casuals, you would be considered a god. I don't know, man. I don't know. Would they listen to me, though? Could I make an argument that would actually get through to them, Kareem? Would it be worth the time spent trying to get through to them? Or is there just no getting through to them? That's what I wonder, though. Stargate saying, Trevor, you're absolutely right, though. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a busy guy. And in some ways, do I really want to be in them spaces with them? I don't know. Jill's saying Zazu Spaces rarely has knowledgeable people. I'm here to learn. There you go. Jill knows where to come to learn. This is the Raptor Freak channel, 9:30 a.m. every day on YouTube. That's right. Live stream, get your comments in, get your questions in, and learn. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely not worth your sanity. No, just not worth going in there. In fact, I deleted X. I don't have Twitter at all. I don't go on that site ever. At all at this point. I do not use Elon's stupid thing. And I'm even hearing that a lot of people are turning in their Teslas because they're so disgusted with Elon Musk and what he's doing right now that people that bought Teslas years ago and were like all about Tesla are like, I can't be associated with him. I'm sure there's people that drive around in Teslas right now that get unnecessary hate from people just because they drive a Tesla, because that is supporting a fucking egomaniac, a racist Nazi piece of shit. So it's like, yeah, some people are returning their Teslas right now because of this shit right now. It's crazy, man. So hell no, I'm not going on Spaces because I don't even support Elon by being on X. No, I left that. That's why we don't hear Leo's words of wisdom anymore, because I'm not an X anymore, Leo. You got to come to Blue Skies, Leo Routens, so I can read your words of wisdom in the morning again. But put them on Blue Skies, because I've turned my back on that Nazi South African that is apparently the vice president of the United States now. Apparently, yeah. Trevor's saying Scotty passed Doug Christie for ninth on the. It's not double doubles. You got this all mixed up, Trevor. All right. First of all, there's two things Scotty did this weekend. He passed Vince Carter for most double doubles on the list. Ahead of him on the list for most double doubles in franchise history for the Raptors. So he passed Vince on double doubles, and he passed Doug Christie for assists all time in the history of the Raptors, and moving to ninth all time in the history of the Raptors. Scotty Barnes is ninth all time for assists in the history of the Raptors, just recently passing Doug Christie. So, yeah, push the like button. Thank you, Jillian, for that. All right, let me do a rundown real quick. Let's do the classic card real quick. Why not? We'll do that, and then we'll do the rundown. All right, I'm just grabbing the first card I grab. Oh, this is fun. We'll have to see if y'all know who this is. This is somebody who was in our arena recently, and we'll see if you guys know who it is. All right, here's the classic card. If you can tell me who this player is, you get 200 points, because this is not an easy classic card. If you do know this, I'll be very impressed. I know who this is right away. If I had this and I was on the other side, I'd write their name in immediately, because this is somebody I'm very familiar with. Yeah, Mark Akers is a good guess, Reggie, but it's not Mark Akers. This is after Mark Akers. Scott Skiles is not right, guys. That's not Scott Skiles. That's not a point guard. So Scott Skiles is not right, guys. This guy is currently still with the Magic. It's Jeff Turner. That's right. This is the color commentator for the the Magic's broadcast, Jeff Turner, who's original Magic also. He was not a draft pick, though, in the expansion draft for the Magic, like Mark Akers or Scott Skiles, but he was an add-on later, and he was a pretty good backup power forward center for them in their early years as a franchise. And, well, he's currently their color commentator on their broadcast crew. So that's Jeff Turner. And 200 points will go to Reggie. Reggie gets 200 points on the classic card today for Jeff Turner of the Orlando Magic. That's right. Yeah, it's like, Jeff Turner. That guy was just in the house with us the other day as far as calling the Magic game. So Jeff Turner, and we got Smooth Brown Man as the winner, and it's 200 points for Smooth on Jeff Turner, classic car of the day. Boom goes the dynamite. All right, let me go through the tabs real quick. The injuries for tonight's game for the Raptors. Emmanuel Quickley's already ruled out for tonight. Kelly Olynyk is questionable. Ochai Agbaji is questionable. And Jakob Poeltl is questionable. So I'm going to guess speculative starting lineup for the Raptors, Davion Mitchell, Grady Dick, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, and possibly Jonathan Mobo. I think that Jonathan's going to get called up, and he's going to get to start with the Raptors tonight, and Orlando Robinson will come off the bench. Now, it could be Orlando Robinson is actually going to be the starting center, but I think it's either going to be Mobo or Robinson that starts in the place of Poeltl. On the other side of things, Pelicans do have some injuries. Keon Brooks is a newly signed two-way. DeJounte Murray is questionable for today's game. Brandon Ingram and Herbert Jones are both out. But Zion Williamson and Trey Murphy and some of those other guys will be available for the Pelicans today at Scotiabank Arena. The referees for tonight's game, the crew chief is Tony Brothers. He favors the New Orleans Pelicans. Nick Bookert is the second ref. He favors the Raptors. And Fennessy Ransom is the third ref. He favors the Raptors also. It's not a horrible crew. It could be worse. 905 beat the Long Island Nets yesterday, 122-118. My 5 stars of the game were Eugene Omoruyi, Frank Kaminsky, Jared Roden, Urush Shamshay, and Jamison Battle. Yeah. Let's see. What else? I did that. Once again, Blake Murphy is announcing that the 905ers are up with the main squad today, so they are available for the Raptors against the Pelicans today. And it's also the last day of Orlando Robinson's 10-day. So he should be re-signed again. That's the smart move. Happy birthday to Lonnie Baxter, former Washington Wizard, former Chicago Bull, and former Toronto Raptor. Lonnie Baxter, happy birthday to you, sir. And I believe that he is 46 today. 46 years old today, Lonnie Baxter, former Toronto Raptor. If you have a fantasy team, set it up. I got beat by David's Assassins this week in the Yahoo Fantasy League. Y'all keep playing, plotting away. The top 8 teams get in the playoffs. So if you're not 8 or above, you're not in the playoffs, and you ain't going to be making it to the playoffs. So there you go. So make sure you keep playing. All right, that's it, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak channel this morning on a Monday, previewing for the New Orleans Pelicans later. They have more talent back. They're not going to be as anemic on offense as they were when we saw them in New Orleans earlier this season. So we need to be ready to play very well with them. In some ways, I'm worried about Zion Williamson playing big and playing like to his full talents. If we can maybe get him to be lazy or somehow contain him, that'd be great. In some ways, our strengths on defense don't match up with the Pelicans' strengths on offense in the right ways. And it is a bad matchup for us. So in some ways, we need to out-hustle and outwork them on getting loose balls and getting the rebounds. So out-rebound the Pelicans tonight, Raptors, and you'll have a best chance to win. I'll say that right now. Monique remembers Lonnie Baxter well, and Jillian sent Darko dinner. W Stream, W Community, W Raps. Let's go. There you go, Trucker Cash. Y'all, I appreciate everybody watching this morning. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join the channel if you want. We'll have to figure out what the membership privileges will be if I leave Facebook, because I won't be on there anymore. We'll have to find a different area for us to convene and have during the games, and we'll figure it out, I'm sure. But we'll see. I'm not totally sure on leaving Facebook. If I do, I might leave Facebook to a degree, but not completely, and have just a little bit of myself on Facebook. We'll see. All right, y'all. Have a great Monday. I'm going to go lift my weights for the rest of the day. I always work out on the day of Raptor games and get big and strong, getting real big and strong right now. Let's get out there, Raptorize our day. Let's go, Raptors. Monique, have a good time at the game tonight. Bring those W vibes down to the arena once again. And thank you for putting on such a great coaches open house yesterday, for the coaches yesterday, Darko and coaching staff. So informative. And just a fantastic event that I highly recommend if you're able to get down there and see a live practice of the Raptors closed door at the Coaches Open House, annually at the Coaches Open House. You should go to that event. It's a fantastic event. And I know Nameless, Blackhawk, Tristan, and Monique extremely enjoyed that event yesterday. All right, y'all, let's go. And I'll see y'all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. with a reaction to the outcome of the game tonight against the Pelicans. Let's go Raptors. Let's beat them and get our 4th game win in a row.